Something wrong? Yeah. It's just too bad you don't know what it is. Brother.
Hello, good people. This is a PSA from TSA. You are listening to the Underground Railroad Show at Spreaker.com. I am the great TSA with my assistant, That Ninja. I'm sorry for the lack of attendance. I was busy spiking faces and beating data dominoes. TSA out.
Oh, man, I love the game of golf. It was a beautiful day out here today, wasn't it, baby girl? You didn't think it was a nice day today?
Well, I am sweating all over, so no, I didn't really think it was.
Well, I mean, you got to drive the car. You got to drive the car, and it did have the hood on it, so it kept the sun off of you.
Yeah, but it had no air conditioning.
Well, okay, fair enough. So, we're going to get something to eat, right?
Of course.
Cool.
And you're obviously paying, right?
Always. Always. Man, golf is a fun sport. Hey, I drove the ball pretty well today, don't you think?
Pretty well to the far right, yeah.
But, okay, even though I went right, my iron game was really good, and I was able to fight my way out of that.
Yeah, but you hit it into the sand, and you did that quite often, might I add.
Even when I went in the sand, my chip was really tight, so I was able to get out of there and get close to the flag.
After 3 times.
You have to admit, though, my putting game was really good, and it saved me a lot of the times from all of the bad hits I had out in the fairway.
And it only took you 11 holes. Listen, until you get a good golfing game, I'm going to keep giving you shit.
I'm improving. I mean, since I've gotten started, haven't I got a lot better?
Yes, you've gotten better since your injury.
We don't have to talk about my shoulder, but I mean, that's another reason why it's coming along slowly, but, you know, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it.
Sure.
Hey, baby girl, I'm about to go hop in the shower. When I get out, we head out to the volleyball tournament, okay?
Okay. Oh, can I use my the computer?
Oh, yeah, of course, baby. Of course. Hey, baby girl.
Yeah.
Repetition breeds familiarity.
Familiarity breeds comfort. Comfort breeds complacency or success. We're going for the latter rather than the former.
All right, good deal. Handle business.
Okay.
Hey, remember you're a beast out there. Act like it.
I will.
All right.
Let me see what he got in these emails. Spam. Overdue bills. Not surprised. Fuck the police coming straight from the underground. Young nigga got it bad 'cause he's broke. What is this? Sarah? Linda? Becky? Amber? Amy? Molly? Ginger? Heather? Karen? Oh, hell no. We are not having this. No, I don't want no Pancake Tuesdays. Oh, God, delete. No, I do not want your lemon bars, Karen. Ooh, my dad's gonna get...
Do you have strong opinions and you're looking for a way to express them? Are you tired of carbon copy sports radio that infests the airwaves? Do you have creative concepts and ideas that you want to share with the world? Then this is not the commercial for you. This commercial is all about
Kinko's University.
That's right. Kinko's University gets you prepared for the podcasting world when you don't have the chops for it. If you're one of the many people looking to get into podcasting, but you just don't have the skill, Kinko's University is the university for you.
I want to do a podcast, but where do I start? And what do I talk about? Kinko's University.
Don't worry, here at Kinko's University, the first thing we teach you about is OPP. That's right, other people's perspective. So you can always have something to talk about, getting it from another source.
Podcasting looks fun, but do I really have to do all that research and show prep?
Kinko's University.
Absolutely not. Here at Kinko's, we have classes like No Preparation 101, where we teach you to get around all of that pesky show prep because we know you don't have the time.
I wonder what the best time slot is to get the most listeners.
Kinko's University.
Don't worry, here at Kinko's, we have a class called Recycling Ideas 101, where you can find a time slot that works and just jump in that slot to try to make it happen for yourself.
Kinko's University.
I want to come up with new content and subject matter, but I'm not that creative.
Kinko's University.
You'll also take Regurgitation 101, which will help you come up with other people's subject matter that you can recycle and make your own. That's right, here at Kinko's, we teach you how to get around hard work, getting new wrinkles in your brain, and having to work hard at your craft. Come to Kinko's, where you can take these top courses with top teachers. Most people that go to Kinko's graduate with Kinko's degrees, that's right, as master copiers. Kinko's University, for the skilled impaired.
Kinko's University is not a real university and is not accredited. You don't actually learn any skills. You just learn how to mimic people who have actual skill.
Underground Railroad Show with that ninja. All aboard, have your tickets ready because the train has arrived. Delayed or on time, it's time to get on board.
What's going on, fam? This is the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy, that ninja. I hope you are enjoying the ride thus far. Right off the bat, my apologies. Life has been lifing, but hey, let's forget about all that and let's jump into it. Today is my college football synopsis. My brief take on what has been the college football season, obviously, championship weekend, and the upcoming playoff, the format, the matchups, the picks, the people that were chosen, how I feel about it. I'm going to get into that today. Little off-topic things at the beginning of the show. It's been a while. I've been very inconsistent. My apologies. I plan on making up for that by going hard pause, being very diligent in the month of December, especially considering somewhat the apex of the college football season, getting ready for the playoff, the matchups. I think 5 SEC teams is a good thing as far as the quality of the games. Coming down to the stretch of the NFL season, the NFL. For somebody like myself, it's been disappointing to say the least.
Motherfucker.
Before I continue, mic check. Let me know if I'm clear from an audio standpoint, and I'll continue. It's been a while. I'll tell you exactly where I'm going. Initially, I'm just going to give you a few quick thoughts on Turkey Day. I know it's been a minute. Hope everybody enjoyed their Turkey Day and fellowship with family. Thank you, sir. That's all I needed. All right, man, let's keep this going. All right, so I haven't been on for a couple of weeks. There's been a lot of things happening football-wise. I couldn't possibly cover them all, so what I'm going to do is focus on college football. I think the talk on the football has been light, and I get it's going to be a little while before the games come, but, for me, all of the early predictions and early thoughts on something when there wasn't enough evidence to really talk about it, was not, for me, it wasn't warranted. Now's the time to really dig into it and look at it, and I think this, I think that. So I have a few thoughts on the playoffs and what they look like right now, and the matchups as far as what we have now. I can say right now, in an ideal world, I would like for at least the SEC teams to not match up in the very first round in an ideal world. I understand you might win your game and then go up against somebody in the SEC, but even that could have been worked around. Just for the quality of the matchups, because just about every one, as far as the SEC games are concerned, are rematches that we've seen, at least the first two that you can kind of see coming. But at any rate, I'll say this just before we play one game, I like this playoff picture much better than the one last year. They've definitely made improvements. I thought last year they made a lot of mistakes by not factoring in strength of schedule. I'm not sure if they still are doing that really, but I got to remember the cameras here. I'm not sure they're still really taking that into account as much as they should, but I will say I like the picture better, and I do see more quality teams. Mainly those 5 SEC teams that got in. I just think that the playoffs were less than they could have been with people that really never had a chance to compete. At least in this instance, you can see some decent matchups, and I see some things, and I don't know if you call them strong feelings, but I see some matchups that, could and should maybe end up a certain way. And I don't think it's ideal for certain teams. But I'll get there. Before we go there, I hope everybody enjoyed their Turkey Day, kicking it with family and whatnot. I shot to Ohio as usual. Quick recap on this. And this is the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy, That Ninja. Shout out to Ohio. And generally speaking, after we do, the normal Thanksgiving food, we break it up with barbecue. Normally, I fire the grill up, and, that's been the thing, for years now. I decided to kind of switch it up. I asked my mom what she thought about frying fish. She said, "Oh, that sounds good." So I grabbed couple of boxes of catfish, box of sway or swai, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Ran that up there, and I fried that on Friday actually, because Saturday being game day, people had a lot of things to do. So on Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, we kind of broke that up with fish. That was a good time in the sense, we saw a lot of family. A good amount of people came to Uncle's house to eat. That was cool. Fried turkey as always. When I fried fish Friday, that was a good time because a couple of my uncles came over. All of my uncles came over almost. Yeah, just about all my uncles came over. And one of my uncles, my Uncle Steve, came over and brought a nice bottle of tequila and an añejo, which is not necessarily my thing. Añejo tequila is not really my thing, but it was really smooth. Adactivo, I think, with that unique bottle. It's a unique shaped bottle, not your normal shaped bottle, little spiral type deal. Has the top that has a shot in it. So I think Adactivo Añejo. So it was an Añejo. I'm more of a silver cat. And maybe every now and again a Reposado. That's again why to me, even to this day, and I've had some good tequilas. Overall, if you ask me my favorite, I'm still going to say Patron. And the only reason I'm going to say that, and there are other ones I've had that are very good. I had something called Vulcan recently. Excellent. And there are high levels of regular Patron that are better than the basic. But the one thing I'll say about Patron, whether it's silver, Añejo, or Reposado, I can drink them all. They're all smooth. Other tequilas, when you get into their Añejos, their Reposados, especially the Añejos, it's almost like cognac. The Adactivo, I didn't think really, it was so smooth, it didn't bother me. Very nice drink, sat around, chopped it up, man. It was a good time. Ended up frying just really almost all of it. Fried up all the catfish and just about all the sway or swai, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And the moms kept a little bit and made some the next day. So that went well. That was cool. I think I'm going to keep that going. I'd rather do that anyway. No matter how much fish you fry, it's not that much effort. Hey, look, how about this? Packed up everything. Took all of my seasonings, took all my fish fry, everything I needed. Why did I leave my damn my pot? Why did I leave the pot to go with my... I mean, obviously, I could just borrow one from my uncle then, but, I have mine to set up a certain way. And how did I remember everything but that? Literally packed up everything, seasonings and all. At any rate, I'm trying not to be elongated with this. Saturday, obviously, the game. Let me say this about the game. I never thought we were going to lose to that school up north, and again, the only reason I'm saying that, being just joking slightly, black coach and black quarterback with the official help I felt we were going to get. I didn't think there was a chance. But, all jokes aside, I didn't think the offensive game plan for that school up north was going to be efficient because all year I feel like the coach, the crying coach, this goes our fault. This team, these players, talk to him. But that cat, I didn't feel he's been efficient from an offensive standpoint. He has a highly skilled quarterback, and I feel that he's been severely underutilized by his coach. An offensive-minded coach, mind you. And again, to me, if you're an offensive coach, I think you should call your offense. That's just me. But the offensive game plan that they have used for the majority of the season, nothing about that scared me. So unless they had some kind of turnaround, I didn't think they were going to do enough on offense to give us any problems, being that the defense is the strength of our team. So I wasn't worried in that sense. Not that they weren't capable, but for whatever reason, I felt the coach and or the OC, and that's still on him. He's the head coach. He has somebody call him plays. He's an offensive guy. So if you allow that, it's on you as well. It's been inadequate all year, and that basic-ass game plan, not really letting that quarterback loose, that was never going to cut it against us. That was never going to cut it. The only chance they really had was stopping our running game and getting to the quarterback. And surprisingly, we kept saying pretty clean, and that meant disaster for them. So I was never overly concerned, and as the game progressed, I felt better and better about that. So we got that quote-unquote monkey off of our back and handled that school up north this year. And, I mean, there's nothing to say about that, but finally. I'm not going to be overly ecstatic, not because of what happened after that, but, I mean, we were supposed to beat them. And, again, I didn't feel like they gave themselves a chance with that game plan, quite frankly. Hey, that school up north, as far as this year.
Oh, you almost had it. You got to be quicker than that.
Hey, listen, maybe we'll see you in the playoffs. Whoa. Y'all not in the playoffs. Damn.
Well, that means didn't he did? Yeah. When hasn't he ever? Didn't he did? Did he not do it?
Y'all didn't make it. Damn.
You rotten bums! You're all garbage! All of you!
I apologize. Feels good to get things on the right side of the world. And I will say this, as far as this show goes and the chat thread and the conversation and the show fodder, it is once again, where it should be, the Wolverine position. It is the Wolverine position. RIP to the Buckeye position. RIP.
R.I.P. Yeah, R.I.P. Yeah, R.I.P. Yeah, R.I.P. Look, R.I.P. Yeah, R.I.P. Yeah, R.I.P. Yeah, R.I.P.
RIP to the Buckeye position. All right, now that that's all said and done, enjoyable football contest. Handled that school up north. I'm not going to get into a bunch of details. No need. Played well. Coach really never gave them a chance with that putrid, basic ABC 1, 2, 3, number 1 pencil ass offense. It never stood a chance. Defense being the strongest part of our team, there was never a shot. And in that particular game, there was some nice play calling that gave opportunities for one-on-one situations and allowed some of our players to put their skills on display in that game. And as a result, a demonstrative and I would say assertive victory over that school up north. What's the letter? What's the letter of the day? The letter of the day is L. Obviously, this conversation is going to turn. But as far as that Saturday, I enjoyed that thoroughly. On the right side of things, and mainly I had to bring up that, and I heard somebody say that it was probably the light-skinned one. Sands of the Hourglass said something to the effect of the Buckeye position was still in effect. No, sir. It is once again the Wolverine position. And I'm just making sure that that has been affirmed and clarified over the airways. Now that that's over. That Saturday, the only other thing that I did up there food-wise, and this is the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy, that Ninja, about to get into my college football synopsis. And again, I apologize. I've missed this narcotic. I apologize for the lack of shows and the lack of frequency. My apologies. I won't bother with a bunch of long-winded explanations that you're not interested in. But I do apologize. And I don't take your listenership and participation for granted. I do apologize. And before I move on, let's see. Okay. Had to get my fix in.
Man's got me, man. I don't got no control over it, man. I try to kick, man. Shit just be calling me, man. I just gotta go to it. Need help, man.
Once again on the food tip in Ohio. Mom. Shout out to moms. Still call her Mama Tiller, but it's Mama Walker. And breaking the tradition and, doing different things. On top of the normal, always tell her to make her greens. Obviously, got some in the freezer. Always tell her to make the greens. Always wanted to hook up some fried chicken at one point. That's just some traditional shit that I want. But this year, she made shrimp egg rolls and Philly cheesesteak egg rolls.
Amen, preacher!
I said shrimp egg rolls and Philly cheese steak egg rolls.
Amen, preacher!
Let me step back for this bomb drop. The shrimp egg rolls. Fire.
What the hell did you just say? What the hell did you just say?
Fire. But when I tell you, those Philly cheesesteak egg rolls, if you just believe in him.
God damn anybody who doesn't glorify his work. God damn anybody who doesn't glorify his work.
She wasn't playing with those, boy. I brought some sirloins. I brought some sirloin steaks. She sliced them bad boys up and hooked them up. Rolled them bad boys. Man. Boy. You talk about something I know I'm about to make from here forward. Boy, them Philly cheesesteak egg rolls are fire. And yes, I had her leave out the onions and the ones that I ate. I sure did.
Go to hell.
I digress. But yeah, it was non-traditional and I really enjoyed that. Random question, top of the show. Answer it throughout the show if you don't mind. I know personally I don't, but does anybody or is there anybody in here that still goes traditional for Christmas? Does anybody here still go traditional for Christmas? Do you still come back with essentially the same food you have for Thanksgiving, or do you have a non-traditional tradition at this point? I haven't had traditional Christmas food in well over a decade, probably much longer than that, because the Ninja damn near 50. So, but at least well over a decade, easy, I haven't had traditional Christmas food. I'm not saying some of it hasn't been around, but it's always been something different. Whether steak, a boil, every food is a very long time outside. I saw a spin. I was just looking to see how bad it was. Is my audio still good? Okay, we're just going to continue. But Shout out to moms with those Philly cheesesteak egg rolls and those shrimp egg rolls. The shrimp egg rolls are fire. And they got demolished, family coming over and everything, but they got demolished. But those Philly cheesesteak egg rolls, boy, she had that steak so tender, man. Gluttony. I wasn't touching it, boy. I was crushing those. Woo, should have never showed me that recipe. I've been meaning to make those, but after I watched her do it, she told me she'd been on the egg rolls. I said, okay. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll bring some steak for the steak egg rolls. And she had the shrimp ones ready when we got there. So when we got there, she had the I'm going tradition. This is like a show thing. I apologize for anybody like what the hell's going on. But she had the sausage balls. Anybody that's had those knows how good those are. Not my thing anymore. Baby girl loves them. She had those ready. She had that, and she had shrimp egg rolls ready. She did not make me any chicken that day, but she had the shrimp egg rolls ready. She had what else was it? Her greens were ready, and that's pretty much all I needed that day. In my mind, there was something else. I think she made something else that day too, but I can't remember right now. But that's really all I needed. Yeah, no, I remember. She made the Philly cheesesteak egg rolls that day too. She went in and pulled them steaks out, got them ready, and hooked them up before we even went to the hotel. Sure did. Because I didn't try them until I went to the hotel. I called her as soon as I've been to the first one. I said, boy, I'll be making those very soon. But I digress. But yeah, that was fire. But just a side question: Does anybody still go traditional? And if you don't, what are you planning on doing this year? Because right now it's kind of up in the air for me, and it is a different situation for me and whatnot. I mean, I don't know how I'm spending that, but I'm probably in all likelihood just going to be chilling like I normally am. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to make that day. It's not going to be traditional at all. It's probably not going to have anything to do with tradition. Right now, I'm leaning towards fish, to be honest. It's very early in the process. I'm leaning towards fish. But I'm going to put some thought into that. Matter of fact, how about some Philly cheesesteak? I just need something that's not, because everything can't be gluttony. I can make greens because it's no, that's Christmas, right? Well, I can still make greens. I have to make something to counteract all of that. I digress. Let me get off the food. I apologize. I gotta make something to counteract that. Those egg rolls would be a good idea. I could do that. Thinking that maybe some fish, and I'm about to make some greens, some fruit, some. I digress. At any rate, let me know if y'all gonna go. If anybody still goes traditional, and if not, what are you doing? Maybe I'll steal your idea. Just curious. All right, but so that was good. One more food note. It's a show thing. And this is the Underground Railroad Show, hosted by your boy, that Ninja. I'm about to jump into the chat, and then I'm going to get into college football. Still in good shape. I mean, I'm not in a hurry. I haven't given y'all the show in a minute, so I'm rolling for a minute. I haven't given y'all a show, so I'm not going to run out and all that shit. We good for a minute. I think I'm going to fire up a Maduro at one point. Okay, yeah, that. Okay, this last thing. The other thing my mom wanted when I was up there, I had been telling her about that collard green gumbo. Now I mentioned that on the show. I really like that dish. That's becoming one of my favorite dishes because I was never really a fan of okra, but I will admit and I will submit to the fact and yield to the fact that you must have it in your traditional gumbo. If you're going to make traditional gumbo, you must have okra. It doesn't taste right. I'm not saying you have to flood it and make it slimy, but you need some okra in it or it doesn't taste right. Even though I'm not a fan of okra, boiled or fried. I can tolerate it, not a fan, never make it, never request it, just giving you the general format. So I'm not a fan of it, but I know you need it in a gumbo. But being that basically the collard greens take the place of the okra, that already appealed to me. And once I made it, it's a very good dish. And the first time I made a nice little chocolate roux, came out way better than I thought just because it was the first go around. And from there, I, knew how to make a homemade roux, which technically is just the same as making gravy. And if you can make gravy, you can easily make a roux. What's going on, Mom? You was out. You had to catch up. You could easily make a roux. Easily. So if you know how to do that, you can easily make a roux. I mean, it's effortless. So did that while I was up there. I made collard green gumbo. I had to put one together. I made collard green gumbo while I was up there. The mic and the camera's hot, mama. I'm live. Just telling you so you didn't step in front of the camera. You can say hi though. They can hear you. I gonna say that. My mom here with me chilling for a little bit. She hanging with me for a little while, couple weeks. I'll holler at you in a minute. All right. So when I was up there, she wanted the collard green gumbo, so I made that while I was up there. Now I'll say this right quick. Now you know what I'm making, as I was just saying. Forgive me for that. Oh yeah, another thing while I'm thinking about it, while I got the notes. Shout out to Ohio being a legal state. Shout out to the multiple dispensaries within less than a mile of where my mother lives. Not saying I went to all of them. I'm just saying it's interesting when you're in those type of states and the availability of things and the many strands and explanations, and this is why this is active in such an education. I digress, but another great thing about Ohio. Where was I at? Oh yeah. She wanted the collard green gumbo. And again, I like it because you don't have to put the okra in it. And it's a really good dish. It's really good. And I'm sure people have heard about it at this point, seen it online. My best friend told me about it. You know, he kind of taught me through it, and he showed me the video. Like any other shit, you listen to it, take it into account, and go from there. But if you can make gravy, you can make a roux. Gravy is much tougher because they try to give you a formula for gravy, but really it's more of a feel thing. And the ratios you get online, they kind of work, they kind of don't. That's more of a feel thing. That's things you have to do depending on how much you're going to make. So those goofy ass directions can throw you off. With a roux, it was fairly simple. And for me, the only thing about the directions they give you, I think they're false. They tell you that you can make the roux a lot faster than you actually can. If you go that fast, you're going to end up kind of burning it and putting that smell in it. So I think they're off with how quickly they tell you the roux is going to be done, because you really need it to be a chocolate roux. But I'm not going to go through it. It's a really simple recipe. But I made it that time, wanted some more, I made it again. And I knew I was going to make it up there, so I went ahead and made it again. You know how you make anything third time, so I wanted to make sure I had it down and I didn't have to think about it. Made it one more time, went real smooth, came out great. So I knew exactly what I needed to do after that. So when I went up there, I made that for her. I'll say this now: when I made it for myself, because I stopped eating pork, I didn't put the Kanecas in it, and because what's the other thing? I didn't put Kanecas in it, and because I don't like onions, I didn't put the onions in it, but I use onion powder. So because I made this for them and it was traditional, I just made it as the recipe states. I can break it down for you real quick if you haven't had it. It's just you make your roux. Roux is equal parts flour and grease. That's all the roux is. Equal parts vegetable oil, flour. They say 1 cup, 1 cup of each. I do 2 because that's not enough to make enough roux. Outside of that, you have your holy trinity: bell peppers, onions, celery. I generally don't use the onions, but because I was making it for them, I put the onions in it. Let me say this. Because I don't fuck with onions, I never cut them up. Man, that was a horrible experience. That was like a small form of medieval torture. Having to cut up that one damn onion, that shit was terrible. I didn't realize how terrible that was. As I broke that onion down and started slicing it up and putting a little cut on it and breaking it down, getting it real fine, cut it up in quarters, and I was knocking it out. Man, it was absolutely horrible. I know the whole, cut the onion, make you crowd, all that. That was absolutely terrible. I forgot how much I hated the damn smell of onions. That was just a reminder. Now I realize when you put it in something, you can cook it, it becomes part of the meal, it caramelizes. I get it. But cutting it up and getting it, that was an absolute horrible experience. I literally have never cut up an onion before because I don't have a reason to. I don't eat them. That was terrible. But at any rate, did that, threw that in. It's very simple damn recipe. You get the roux going. You got your Holy Trinity. Once you get your roux straight, you put in your Holy Trinity, let that run for a minute. You put in about 48 ounces of chicken broth. That's the big one. That's a lie as well. You're going to need 2 of those. So get 2, put 1 in. You're going to need the other one to add to it. Why use water? It doesn't make sense. You throw in your Kanecas. You're going to make it traditionally. So, I take that back. That's a lie. Pause on that. You put that in. You put in your turkey wing. You just about submerge it. You season it with paprika, oregano, Make sure I'm not lying. Paprika, oregano, Creole, cayenne, onion powder, garlic powder. I'm leaving out one thing. I think that's it. Everything's like a half teaspoon. You got to up that shit. About a teaspoon and a half or so, half a tablespoon. And you put a tablespoon in of the paprika and the Creole seasoning. You might want to up that just a tad. Tablespoon's just about enough for those. They say put in red pepper flakes or hot sauce. Anytime they call for that, personally, I use cayenne. I'm never going to put red pepper flakes in a recipe. That shit just doesn't go for me. And I don't like to taste the hot sauce. So I always use cayenne. But those are the seasons. Basically, once you throw that in, you put your wing in there, you throw your seasons in, let that shit run, put your let that shit work for about an hour, put your connectors in, throw your greens in, let that work till they're tender. Once that's done, you kill the heat, put the shrimp in, work them till they're opaque, you're done. Simple enough recipe. But it's a nice little change up, and I enjoy it. But I made that because she wanted it, went over well, and I made it traditionally with them nasty ass onions, and I put the pork in it. But it worked out. It worked out. Everybody enjoyed it, so I was cool with that. So that was the Ohio trip. Had a good time. Of course, baby girl rode up with me. And this time, for those that listen traditionally, baby girl usually flies back. Traditionally, she flies back. She rides up with me and she flies back. This time, she stayed with me the whole time. We rode back. Made 2 stops at Buc-ee's. We stopped at Buc-ee's on the way up and the way back. Okay, we already talked about the brisket at Buc-ee's. Obviously, I went and got that on the way back. We went too early. It was breakfast time when we went. Has anybody ever had the brisket taco from Buc-ee's? Anybody ever had those brisket tacos? Their breakfast is not bad. And then I looked over, they had brisket tacos, one with eggs, one without. That brisket taco was fire. Their brisket taco was fire. Not even going front. I'm cool with Buc-ee's. I don't go there much, so the few times I go, it's straight. And they actually have drinkable coffee. Most places don't. So trip to Ohio was cool. Had a good time. And not even after I got back Sunday, because baby girl had to go to work that Monday and get ready for her exams. And today was baby girl's last exam. She is now done with it. She's going to work her internship a couple of days, and she's coming home Wednesday afternoon and or evening. Wednesday evening, she'll be coming home. For Christmas break, Moms got into town Thursday. So I got back Sunday, and about 3-4 days later, Moms came back down because her best friend, the one she did the interview with, remember when I had the interview with her and her best friend, my godmother, she turned 70, so she came down for her 70th. And she has another friend turning 70 in about a week, so she's just going to stay and go to that party as well. So get to kick it with my moms for a little bit, so enjoying that. All right, man. This is the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy, That Ninja. Thank you for coming aboard and rolling with me. Good Turkey Day. Had a great time. Got a lot to get into from the indie realm of college football. Enjoyed that victory against that school up north, and as I waited with anticipation for the Big Ten championship, and at the time when I presumed to be the finale to the regular season and the crowning achievement being said Big Ten championship. But we'll get there. Before we get there, let's go ahead and introduce everybody that's come aboard. And I'm downplaying it slightly. Gumbo went over really well. It went over really, really well. Everybody enjoyed it. My uncle, aunt, mom, them had it. Other godmom was up there. She enjoyed it. My cousin that lives in Atlanta, we kicked her a little bit before she was heading back. She left for Atlanta before I left to go back to the crib. She got out of there before I did, about 2 or 3 hours. But she made something to go. She didn't want to go to sleep on the road. After she got home and had it, she sent me a text and said it was quote unquote bussin'. And if I ever made it again without calling her, we was gonna fight. Because hell, she's in Atlanta. She can come over and get it. But at any rate. But that went over well. I recommend trying that if you like traditional gumbo, but that's a good recipe, man. And that turkey wing really that's really a good addition to it. Now I always you debone it. After it, gets right, just pull her out, debone and get all the skin and whatnot off. But that's good eating, man. That's good eating. I enjoyed, though, the traditional food was good, but I really enjoyed getting off of it immediately with egg rolls, fried chicken, fish. I didn't eat any of the gumbo, obviously, because I put onions and pork in it, but that was just for everybody else to enjoy. First man aboard the train. Man, it was my very first show, coming in being very aggressive as usual with his traditional good evening.
Motherfucker.
Also saying, welcome back, Ninja, you funky dog head bitch.
Motherfucker.
I deserve that and I apologize. I deserve that, sir, and I apologize.
You hear you? I hear you.
I know after so many shows, I know what you were saying.
What the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you?
My bad. We got my man 334 Bama on the train. What's going on, sir? 334's Crimson Tide are in said playoffs along with my Buckeyes. And I have some thoughts on that game and the potential matchup afterwards. Thank you for coming aboard, sir. Hope you are enjoying the ride thus far. The man that asked me were we getting a show today? My man Dexter's on the train. What's going on, sir? Thank you for the confirmation. You and 334 on the audio. I appreciate it. Got my man Truck D on the train. What up, Truck D? Thank you for coming aboard, sir. Hope you are enjoying the ride thus far. Hope everybody enjoyed their turkey day and they got to either chill out, relax, chillax, and fellowship and or kick it with family and or friends. I mean, that's what it was at the end of the day, and that's what I had a really good time doing, man. I'm really glad my uncles just stopped by that day when we fried that fish. I'm really glad my uncles came by because that was fun, just sitting around chopping it up with those ninjas. I always enjoy that because they started telling all the old stories that I couldn't hear back then, but now I'm grown. And, you know, you sitting around cooking and everybody eating shit, man, that's cool because I was a little nigga. So that's just fun. I like doing that. I like doing that, man. So I'm really glad my uncles came through. That was cool. We got my man Sluggo on the train. What up, Sluggo? Thank you for coming aboard, sir. Hope you are enjoying the ride thus far. I apologize for becoming an Atlanta Falcons fan. 334, I apologize because apparently the bad luck that I brought is not a good thing. Hell of a season, but there's always next year. There's always next year. And this comment from Sluggo doesn't surprise me. And let me look and make sure I'm not forgetting anything. No, I'm not. Truck D speaking to everybody. Sluggo said in Sluggo fashion, I've never had smooth liquor. You know what, Sluggo? I believe you. As you say that, I believe you in the sense of in your mind, any liquor that you had has never been smooth. I'm not going to argue with you on that. I believe you, sir. I believe you. I believe that no liquor that you had has ever been smooth. I've been around you, sir, when we've had some very smooth moonshine. Not the best, not the quality that, you know, somebody that may or may not be on the train may or may not have access to. Not that quality, but quality nonetheless. And when you partook in that particular moonshine, sir, your reaction said it all. It's like I'm saying, I've never had smooth liquor. In other words,
hey, slow down. Watch your speed.
When I started talking about how smooth the liquor was my uncle brought over, you know what Sluggo did?
That's a lie! That's a goddamn lie!
There's no such thing as smooth liquor.
That's a lie! That's a goddamn lie!
Coming aboard the train to his usual bomb drop for slapping the sauce out of his wife's hands when she tried to apply it to my ribs. True story. Real talk. No joke. She attempted to put sauce on my ribs. He physically and literally slapped the sauce out of her hands. And that's why that man gets a bomb drop every time he comes aboard the train. The great Sidney Jackson. What's going on, sir? The great Sidney Jackson, thank you for coming aboard, sir. Hope you are enjoying the ride thus far. Sluggo said, now there's a new monkey to contend with. That one. And Sluggo said, I like the Kamala position better. I'm with that one too. The Kamala position or the Wolverine. But I think the Buckeye position should be retired. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying whichever one we choose, let's just retire the Buckeye position. Let's just retire that one. Dexter said that sounds delicious. Those egg rolls are great. Those egg rolls are great. The shrimp ones are great, but man, those Philly cheesesteak egg rolls, sirloin, peppers, provolone. Super simple, but man, they were fire. Fire. I say use peanut oil because it's just lighter. At the end of the day, peanut oil is just lighter. And cooks up, it just cooks better to me, and it doesn't leave, it's not as intrusive. Peanut oil doesn't sit there like, hey, I'm grease. As long as you cook it at the right temperature. Sluggo said Nick is about to give Amy and Amber diabetes with that up north food. You got to stop, man. Some people don't understand the comedy in what you're doing. Not true, sir. That up north food. Well, you talking about what? The egg rolls? Everybody eats fish, so you must be referring to the egg rolls. I think anybody would be okay with those egg rolls, sir. I think anybody would be okay with those egg rolls. Those bad boys were fire, sir. That was good eating. That was good eating. Lots of comedy.
You're right. It's fact.
We got my man Chef McFeezy on the train. What's going on, McFeezy? Long time no see, sir. Glad you were able to make it aboard. I believe this is a bad time for McFeezy. But not as bad a time as it is for Clay Davis. I haven't seen that ninja in forever. Thanks for coming aboard, McFeezy. Hope you are enjoying the ride thus far. Sidney Jackson said, our Christmas food usually consists of something other than turkey, maybe a roast or steak. I like that. Those are good choices. Let me acknowledge, sir. Let me acknowledge. Let's see here. Let me acknowledge that. So Sidney Jackson said, our Christmas food usually consists of something other than turkey, maybe a roast or steak.
You're a goddamn genius. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160. You are goddamn gifted. You're a goddamn genius. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160. You are goddamn gifted.
A roast sounds great. I haven't had a roast since me and baby girl made one. A roast sounds great. Might have to do that. A roast sounds excellent. A roast sounds that sounds really good. Steaks too. I've done steaks before. Steak and potatoes went traditional. Steak and potatoes, but yeah, that sounds good. That sounds real good, sir. I would say that's an excellent idea. Okay, that was crazy. Dexter said, nope, not in years. My mom can't do that type of cooking anymore. I remember you mentioned that. In her position, doesn't have the ability to do that anymore. Yeah, it's haven't done traditional Christmas things in a long time, food wise. It's a crossover from what we had already. Sluggo said, semi-traditional for us. The in-laws will always have non-traditional food taste available. Okay, that's right. You get to enjoy that authentic. You get to enjoy some authentic non-traditional cooking as well. So, yeah, you have it better than most people. Definitely, you definitely have it differently at a bare minimum. You're definitely doing some non-traditional things most people don't partake in. Sidney Jackson said, my brother does a brisket. My brother does a brisket ribs fried chicken for Christmas. That sounds good. Sidney Jackson said, my brother does a brisket, ribs, and fried chicken for Christmas. Shout out to your brother.
You're a goddamn genius. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160. You are goddamn gifted.
That boy is good.
Yeah, if you're doing a brisket as well, you're doing the most. If he throws in a brisket, gives you ribs, and then throws in fried chicken, I'm going to give you beef, pork, and chicken. I'm going to give you one of each. I'm going to hook you up with some brisket. I'm going to give you some damn ribs, and then I'm coming with some fried chicken. Everybody's going to be happy. Nobody's mad.
You're a goddamn genius. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160. You are goddamn gifted.
Nice. See, Sydney and them working out steaks and roast and brisket and fried chicken and ribs. I like all of those choices for Christmas. Might fire up the grill. You know the only thing I might do for Christmas? I might either smoke or fry a turkey because I really didn't eat a whole lot of turkey. And I haven't fried a turkey this year. And like my fried turkey is different than the average. So I might fry a turkey because I really didn't eat much turkey. I had turkey on Thanksgiving and that was it. I had some of my uncle's turkey on Thanksgiving. I didn't eat any more. So I could actually fry a bird and be happy with that along with whatever else I do. So I'm debating. I doubt I do that. I seriously doubt it. But I could fry a bird. I could fry a bird either on Christmas or New Year's just to have some turkey. I could do that. I didn't even fry one last year. I think it's been a couple years. I usually fry one. I still got pop set up. Let me see. JBJ said, I'm cooking chili and the wife will make mac and cheese. And yes, my chili has beans. I hate ninjas. Okay, JBJ said, okay, that's funny. I'm cooking chili and the wife will make macaroni and cheese or mac and cheese. And yes, my chili has beans. I hate niggas, boy. Okay. The
Hell no.
The reason for that is because I discussed that I possibly might make some beanless chili because I'm not a fan of beans, but I kind of, was going to make some beanless chili. And I mentioned that, and the reaction of the chat room kind of bordered along the lines of this sentiment.
Sick help. Sick help.
It wasn't well received. And instead of being a decent human being, JBJ wants to bring that up.
What? Nigga, please.
I appreciate that, sir.
Hey, slow down. Watch your speed.
That motherfucker must have lost his goddamn mind.
JBJ, I'm cooking chili, and the wife will make mac and cheese. And yes, my chili has beans.
I hate niggas, bro. I hate niggas, bro.
I think that would be good. Beanless chili, have some crackers. That's good eating. And 334 was very disrespectful. We were doing his segment, and either I mentioned the beanless chili or the chat room did, and he paused in disbelief and said, and I quote, "That's just sloppy joes." So disrespectful. Beanless chili is not sloppy joes, but that is hysterical. This man said beanless chili was sloppy joes. He said, "That's sloppy joes." I'm still thinking about doing it, man. But with all the other soups and things that I can make that are available, I might not do that. I might not bother. JBJ said, I've had the steak and cheese egg rolls before, but they weren't homemade. Okay, bet. JBJ saying hi to moms. She'll be back out here in a minute. Everybody speaking. JBJ said, collard green gumbo. That's too obscure, sir. That's too obscure. But I'll get to it at one point. JBJ said, collard green gumbo. Who are y'all? Hey, who are y'all, man? Who the fuck are you? Hey, man, that's good eating, sir. I know it's non-traditional, but that's good eating. That's good eating. Trust me on that. Trust me. Dexter said, I put okra in my gumbo too. In the traditional, you have to, even though I'm not a fan, it doesn't taste right without it. Now that I've done this recipe though, I'll probably never make traditional gumbo again. I'm good on that. I'd rather have this. Because I kill two birds with one stone. I get my greens in, which I'm a big fan of. I don't like okra anyway. And I can replace it with a green I'm fond of. Yeah, I'll probably never go traditional again. I'm a big fan of this. And hell, it's good. It's good without the pork element. I don't even put pork in it, and I enjoy it. McFeezy said, the darker the roux, the better. Preach, McFeezy. And McFeezy, I'll have you know your boy made a dark chocolate roux, sir. Just putting it out there. Darker the roux, the better. And for me, and McFeezy, I know you're versed in this being a chef. It's not just a show handle. How long does it take you to make your roux? Because to me, 10, 12 minutes isn't long enough. Or do you have it turned up to the point where you can make it that quick and it's still okay and I don't really have to worry about burning it? Am I being overly cautious? Because to me, I can't get a chocolate roux in 12 minutes. And I've seen some directions saying that, and to me, that's bullshit. It's a straight up lie. I said 12 minutes?
That's a lie! That's a goddamn lie!
But as McFeezy said, the darker the roux, the better.
You're a goddamn genius. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160. You are goddamn gifted.
Fact, sir. Sidney Jackson said, Sidney Jackson laughing, saying the Onions had Ninja crying like Michigan's head coach. Our team, these players, Coach Harbaugh, I fucking love you, man. That nigga. I'm sorry. But, sir, that was terrible. Like, I know it sounds like I'm being dramatic and I'm exaggerating. That was horrible, sir. I didn't realize how terrible that was and how terrible it was going to be. That was absolutely horrible. As I was doing that in my mind, I'm like, okay, here goes, the onion thing. And I'm laughing about it a little bit. But as I continued, I'm like, you know what? This is really bad. This is really, like, not good. This is like, I'd rather not be doing this. And I forgot my food processor. So I just had to, do it traditionally with the knife. Man. Like if I had my food processor, it would have been a little bit quicker, less hands-on. You break it down into that little, into the little storage unit that's already covered. So it's not as bad. It's not as bad. You know what I'm saying? In that situation, man, that was unacceptable. That didn't work for me. I mean, again, but everybody enjoyed it. Like I said, that's how unselfish an individual I am. Knowing that I wasn't going to eat. Now, granted, the onion thing, I could have fought through that because I'm sure by the time I finished cooking it, the onions were gone and they were, part of the meal, as opposed to being like a background singer that wants to sing lead and you're all loud and pronounced and people are trying to enjoy the gumbo and all of a sudden, crunch. I would never do that to anybody. But it's not that situation. It wasn't those type of onions. So I could have eaten it with that, but I wasn't going to eat it with the Connecticut in it. But I wasn't going to short everybody else the Connecticut. But yeah, in all seriousness though, that sucked. Like serious. Like and all jokes aside, the whole like onion thing, like all jokes aside, that was really bad. Like I'm not even exaggerating. I really didn't care for that, man. That was bad. I don't know how y'all cut them things up, but Like anything that smells like that. And again, I say this using onion powder and really getting to the point where most of my dishes, I put onion powder in it, and I would be disappointed if I didn't have it in it at this point. But I don't want onions. It's like I'll take onions, illegitimate little cousin that's not as rambunctious, but I don't want them. And I will say, McFeezy, I'm glad you're here. I will say I've recently had shallots. You were the one breaking down all the onions, telling me which ones are stronger. And actually, the white onion's the worst one. I think you said yellow after that, and then you went with this other one. And then you brought up shallots. I'm glad you're here. I did have shallots. I had shallots in 1 second. Come back. I always pause on this dish. 1 second, I'll have it. I had shallots in shit. I need my ass kicked. It's not risotto. In risotto. I had shallots in risotto, and they were fine. They didn't bother me. I'm sure they were cooked in well, but there was an entire shallot in risotto. You can come on out. There was an entire shallot in risotto, and it didn't bother me. It didn't bother me. I'm not malfunctioning. I'm just killing the camera. So, but I had that in the risotto, and it was good. So I'm glad you're here, sir. I did have shallots. And I'll say this, maybe. They might be doable. But it wasn't to the point where I had them and I'm like, oh, these shallots brought such a flavor and a presence to this dish. I can no longer live without them. Mom, you can get in front of the heat if you want to. You good? So I did have shallots, sir. They weren't terrible. I see what you meant about them being not as potent, because when they were being broken down, I didn't get that same, what is going on? Why is thou forsaking me feeling that I got when I was cutting up those onions? So I will say shallots are less potent. They're not as bad, as my mother looks at me funny. But I will say that they're not as bad. They're not as potent, and I can roll with those. I will say that, but I still would never say, oh, I want these, or I gotta, hey, make sure you pick up some shallots because I'm about to make this and I gotta have them. Like my quesadillas, let me get some shallots because I don't want onions, but I want shallots. Like I'm good. I still don't need them, but I do see what you meant as far as like the shallots being less potent. I do see what you meant as far as the shallots being less potent. That's true. So I did want to tell you that. Sydney Jackson said, I have yet to visit Buc-ee's. Really? I have yet to visit Buc-ee's. They were supposed to open one north of Memphis, but they haven't opened it yet. You'll love it, sir. I mean, there's a billion gas pumps. You can get a big 16-pound bag of ice for like $1, maybe $2. That's still cheaper than anywhere else. But you can get a 16-pound bag of ice, I think $1.99 for a 16-pound bag of ice. All the gas pumps in the world, you don't have to worry about waiting in line. Coffee, everything you need, dude, is in there. Coffee, quality sweets and cakes. They're baking and making in there. They're pulling out fresh brisket. You can get brisket sandwiches if you're a traditional person. I personally get a pound of brisket with no sauce on it, sliced. You can get brisket tacos if you're there in the morning, which I really enjoy. And they actually have good coffee. Most places don't have good coffee. Generally speaking, because I'm a Starbucks snob, I can't really drink coffee out of anywhere but Starbucks. But they actually have good coffee. And to top it off, they have raw sugar at your disposal. Great place. Mixed nuts, jerky, everything. Every kind. They got turkey jerky. They got a whole wall dedicated to jerky. A whole wall dedicated to chips, nuts, and pecan, everything, sweets. You know, they got everything in there, dude. And again, plentiful bathrooms, clean. They got enough employees to keep the place going. As far as, you know how secretly Blockbuster was sticking the middle finger to Netflix as they closed their stores? That's how all these other rest stops feel about Buc-ee's. Because if there's a Buc-ee's within a reasonable amount of distance, nobody's going to stop at their store. If there's a Buc-ee's, they're going to go in there, they're going to walk in, they're going to have there's plenty of people there. You don't have to stand in. Even if the line is long, they're still going to push it through. Even if the line is long, they're going to push it through. It's just a better stop. And once again, you can get brisket. Who else serving brisket tacos? That are stuffed, by the way. That are stuffed. The brisket taco I got, they put as much brisket as they can fit in there. They got me. That's going to be my stop when I'm heading up. Every time. But yeah, you'll like Buc-ee's, sir. You'll like Buc-ee's. Cedar said, Ninja, what does your mom use to season her greens without pork? What do you use, Mama?
Turkey.
You use turkey, right?
Slap your mouth. Garlic powder, onion powder.
I think they can hear you, but say it. Come a little bit closer and just say it again, because they can probably hear you through my microphone. You don't have to worry about it. If you're not in front of this, they can't see you. You're good.
I use turkey.
Mm-hmm.
I use green seasoning. I use slap your mama, garlic powder, and garlic powder.
Okay.
And let it roll. Let it boil.
Okay.
That's to me.
So,
good boil.
So garlic powder and onion powder are the last two, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Green seasoning.
Yeah. That's the one thing you use, I don't. That's the one thing you use and I don't. Do you cook it in chicken broth?
Always.
Okay. Just making sure. I could have told you that, but it's better to let her explain it. Yeah, because I don't use pork to season myself anymore. That was always the thing. And QT, my ex, was the first person to switch over to turkey. As a matter of fact, my Uncle Damon was making a smoked turkey in Ohio. First time I had a smoked turkey I liked. That's the recipe I follow when I make it. And it was probably one of the best smoked turkeys I ever had. And that smoked turkey in greens and pintos was excellent. Excellent. I still remember we brought that home and put it in the freezer. And next time she made some greens, she put it in there. The flavor it shot through there. I was like, okay, I see what you mean. So been on turkey ever since then, to be honest. Probably ever since then. Mac Feezy said the Buckeye position should never be retired. The endless comedy is boundless. I'll give you that, but I don't want to hear the Buckeye position all the time. Sluggo said, I mean, okay, listen. Are you right? Yes. But think about me. I know what you're saying. You're saying,
You're robbing us, you son of a bitch.
You want the comedy. Fuck my feelings.
You're robbing us, you son of a bitch.
Very selfish, sir. That's very selfish of you.
The truth is for everybody, but everybody might not be for the truth.
Sluggo said ham and turkey are always on the menu, but you can also expect curry goat and or oxtails. Man, you know what? I gotta, and listen, I've heard so many great things about curry goat. I haven't had it, but everybody that has swears by it. T-Wall loves curry goat. She loves goat. I know somebody else who has a child that loves goat. I know other people that love goat, and oxtails go without saying. So once again, sir, for that text. Okay. To follow up on his text, saying the Buckeye position should never be retired. The endless comedy is boundless. For instance, knock knock. Who's there? Buckeye position. Buckeye position who? Buckeye position now. Who's your daddy? You sorry, motherfucker. Okay, that's funny. You see what the shirt says? Choke. This is actually a derogatory shirt about that school up north, but this is appropriate for the Big Ten championship. So I can wear this twofold. What this says is choke, the official drink of Michigan football. That's what this shirt says, but it's appropriate for the Ohio State University today. I was going to go there, sir. For instance, knock, knock. Who's there? Buckeye position. Buckeye position who? Buckeye position now. Who's your daddy? As in Indiana Hoosiers. You low life.
Hey, slow down. Watch your speed.
Thanks a lot, sir. And since you brought it up, The Ohio State University went into the Big Ten championship on Championship Saturday and had a piss poor, pathetic, inadequate, impotent, lethargic, shameful showing on the offensive side of the football. As I've stated for the entire season, the quarterback's adequate and efficient if everything is on time. For the entire season, he hasn't been under any pressure, any duress. And in the one game where he had any sense of consistent duress, that was Tejas, he struggled. And we saw piss poor quarterback play in that game from him and the aforementioned overhyped Manning. And you know what? I take that back because we hadn't talked about him, so he's not aforementioned. But the overhyped Manning character and Julian Sand overhyped as well, especially considering he hadn't done anything going into the season. They both looked terrible in that game. And he's looked average in a lot of games, gotten better with the benefit of a superior team, superior talent, and sitting back and comfortably sitting in the pocket and never being in a position to have to make a play. Now, I will say in the Big Ten championship, there were a few instances where the play calling was absolutely horrible. There was one drive where we were on the goal line and there were two stupid-ass calls, but one in particular was a quarterback sneak with Julian Sand, 4th and 1. He's not a quarterback sneak quarterback. Get a ball to your running back. But for some reason, they were trying to give him glory. He was terrified from the beginning, couldn't even keep his knee up, and ended up turning the ball over. There was another drive where they wasted one play, and they had another play that I can't remember, but it involved the quarterback, and it was stupid. Then they threw the ball again. It's terrible play calling in the red zone with that type of talent. You have to scheme that, and we wasted several drives in the red zone. And there were 2 or 3 where the play calling killed us. That last drive, not counting those couple of Hail Mary throws with the slow floating football. But that last drive where we should have at least gotten the field goal, and I'll get there in a second. I'm not mad at the first down run. But in that situation, I think you line right back up and you run that ball again, but you do it in a way where you're getting a trap or some type of option for the running back. They ran dead up in the middle in the teeth of the defense and put themselves in an unnecessary third down situation. That was a wasted play. In that second down and short in the red zone, when you have to have it, you have a litany of plays at your disposal. It's an ideal down for a play caller, and you came with a motherfucking zero dive. You came with base give. You are a plain Lay's potato chip ass play caller if you make that call in that situation. At least line up a fullback, at least stack the line, at least give me an imposing lead blocker if you're going to go basic. But all that tough guy bullshit in that situation, it's second and short. You can call whatever you want. They have to respect the play action in that situation. He just ran for about 8. They have to respect the play action. And you come with some basic plain potato chip bullshit. The reason I call it plain potato chips is because you can get those anywhere. Every store has plain potato chips. The correlation is that anybody can make that simple ass call. You're at The Ohio State University. It's 2nd and 1. I'm sorry. It's second and 1. Second and 2. Yeah, it's 2nd down and 2. It's 2nd and 2. And you come with that basic ass play, that's the perfect time for something creative, at least some kind of trap, some quick play action. You're gonna have people wide open. If your first option isn't open, the second one is guaranteed to be open. And there were a couple of things that happened in this Big Ten game. One of them is this dying need to throw the ball to the tight end. And on that drive, I didn't like that play call. 3rd down, they come out of the same. Okay, on 3rd down, they ran the play they should have ran on 2nd down. They came with the same formation, but ran play action out of it. I felt that would have been a good 2nd down play. At any rate, they ran that play on 3rd down, fake, bootleg right. Julian Sayin immediately had the running back 27 in the flat. Webb, I believe, because that's not Bo Jackson. So I think it was Webb. Webb was right there. Flip him the ball. 1st down. 1st and goal. We're fine. All he had to do was flip him the ball. If he made a definitive decision and took out running, you get the 1st down. If you wanted to throw to the tight end, which is obviously what you wanted to do, because the fucking running back was open for the 1st down, you could have ran it and probably got the 1st. But all you had to do was a quick flip, 1st down to the running back. You maybe could have got it to 15 in the middle of the field. But you wanted to throw to your buddy, the tight end. If you were going to throw to the tight end, and again, this is why I'm aggravated. All I'm hearing is quick arm. He's so smart. They say that he knows everything. When he comes out of the huddle, he knows exactly where to go. He doesn't have to think about it. That's not what I saw on that play. If you were going to go to the tight end, it had to be quick. Go back and watch that shit. If you were going to the tight end, bro, it had to be quick. You waited too fucking long. Go back and watch that play. When he comes out of that roll, he could have flipped it right to the running back. 1st down, we're good. That's what a smart quarterback would have done. He could have took out running and got the 1st down. It was only 1 yard. That's what a smart quarterback would have done. Instead, he waited too late, passed up on a sure 1st down, passed up on running it, and then threw to the tight end 1.5, damn near 2 seconds too late. Because the cornerback and the linebacker caught up with him by then. If he would have immediately turned, raised up, and shot that ball with anticipation to the tight end, that would have worked. But he wanted the glory of the touchdown, and he wanted to throw it to somebody in particular. That's not smart. That's not knowing where to go with the ball. That's not poise. That's not when he comes out of the snap, he knows exactly where everybody is. Bullshit. There were a lot of things done wrong in that game. I thought the play calling let him down at times. But in that series, even though the play calling could have been better, the 1st down was there. As I said, they had to respect the play action. So when he rolled out, he had time. He made the wrong decision. Running back, motherfucker, 1st down. Or you run, 1st down. But you wanted to throw to the fucking tight end, and you showed a tendency to want to do that for the entire game. And that's where the issue lied. You had a tendency to want to throw to that tight end the entire game, and that's what you were doing the entire time. I want to throw to this tight end. That's what happened on that last drive. 3rd and 1, we come away with nothing because you wanted glory instead of smart play. In comes the kicker. Chip shot. This is the only olive branch I'll extend the kicker. He does have this right fade with his kick when he does it properly. If you look earlier in the game when he made a field goal, he kicks it starting to the left. It goes up and bends back in. That's his natural motion. But he got nervous. He had because the other situation was in a playoff game against Georgia, where we surely would have went on and beat the living fuck out of TCU. The second worst case of onset lemon booty that I've ever seen from an Ohio State kicker. He simply choked up, got tight, and just pushed the ball and kicked it straight to the left. It didn't have a good rotation. The snap was good. The hole was good. He just got nervous because his kick usually goes up to the left, swerves back in. So he kicked it that way, but he was tight. The ball didn't go up. It didn't have the rotation and go up like it usually did. It usually goes up, phase in. He got tight and he just chucked that motherfucker. It's like pulling on the golf course. It's like when you take a swing and you pull that shit and just throw that shit to the left. That's just a terrible swing, and that's what that was, a terrible kick. We don't get the ball back. But we had 10 points in the second quarter with 8 minutes and 8 seconds to go. We never scored again. If I'm not mistaken, second quarter, 8 minutes or 6 minutes left. It was either 8 minutes and 8 seconds or 6 minutes and 2 seconds. We had 10 points. We never scored again. Unacceptable. From a Heisman Trophy frontrunner, Julian Sayin. Oh, God. 10 points. Thanks for bringing that up, sir. Damn, Mac Feasy. That was so unnecessary. Matt Feasy said, I'd rather pay to have the holidays catered than have to cook. You know what? I can hear that, sir. I can hear that. And you know what? There's something to getting some catered food and not doing anything. But just, but I don't have to cook I'm assuming that you do a lot of cooking in your occupation, so you rather just chill. But there's something to be said for that. Sidney Jackson said, I don't need them raggedy ass bears in my chill. I'm sorry, them raggedy ass beans. Okay, Sidney Jackson. Thank you, sir. Sidney Jackson said, I don't need them raggedy ass beans in my chili. And again, I don't either. And again, Sidney, Sidney is he's just one of them bomb drop type people.
Amen, preacher.
I don't need him either, Sidney. Who needs it? Mac Feasy said, excuse me, the key to getting your rule, the Yaffe.
You're gonna get us in trouble.
The truth is for everybody, but everybody might not be for the truth.
Hey, Mac Feasy.
Help! Sick! Help!
Sidney Jackson said, a low country boil is usually on the menu for the new year for us. That sounds good. That sounds great, actually. Matter of fact, let me make sure I do you right, sir. Pause.
Amen, preacher.
Now, back to Mac Feasy.
Sick! Help! Sick! Help!
The key to getting your roux, the Yafet Kodo color, is to keep stirring it at high heat, then gradually lowering the heat to medium as it gets darker and darker. Yeah, that's what I do, sir. That's what I do. But I was just checking because for me, you can't do that in 12 minutes. So I'm just telling people that for me, when they tell you that in certain directions, that's a lie. It takes longer than 12 minutes to get your roux a proper color. But yeah, that's what I do. I mean, that's kind of a basic cooking thing, but you're 100% right. You start out at a high temperature, get it going, and you work it down as needed. You know what I'm saying? And maybe I'm dropping my temperature too quick, but it definitely takes me longer than 12 minutes. But yeah, I start high and work my way down. The Yafet Kodo color. Mac Feezy said the shallots were basically a background player in a meal. It's there, but it blends into the meal seamlessly. Okay. So maybe shallots will be my compromise when I'm making meals for other people. And I'll make a small batch of something, maybe use a shallot and figure it out. But I looked, I was like, is that a shallot? She said, yep. I said, okay, I'm about to figure that out. I looked, I said, is this a shallot? I said, this is hysterical. I said, one of my listeners was just telling me that I might be able to deal with a shallot that's a less potent, quote unquote, onion. I told him to get the fuck out of here, but I guess I'm about to find out. But yeah, in the risotto, it blended in, sir. It was the background singer that understood their job and their assignment. They weren't trying to sing lead. Mac Feezy said, I personally find yellow onions too spicy and overpowering in meals. It's why I prefer milder onions. Okay, sir. Okay. JBJ saying, and you know what? And again, to me, the milder onion. And again, you're right. It's just me being the onion hater that I am. What I want to say is
sick help. Sick help.
But what I should say is
the truth is for everybody, but everybody might not be for the truth.
JBJ said, quote, Starbucks snob. You hypocrite motherfucker. Go to hell.
Go to hell. Go to hell. Go to hell. Go to hell.
Hey man, I'm a Starbucks snob. How does that make me a hypocrite? You know what's funny about that is some of you are Starbucks snob and you don't want Starbucks snobs and you don't want to admit it. That's what's funny about that.
Go to hell.
What's up, man? I'm cool. You need anything? Fine. Okay, you're funny.
Go to hell.
I'm just saying, sir. It's Starbucks snob. I think that well, the thing about it, and I'll admit that I'm one, but what I will say is that it was funny to me when I found out later on that a lot of y'all were Starbucks snobs and you just didn't say anything. You just left me hanging out there by myself like it was just me. Mac Feezy says, QT serves brisket tacos. Really? Is it brisket or is it brisket-like substance? Is it brisket or is it brisket-like substance? I didn't know that. Sluggo said, this is sick and... What am I missing here? This is sick and grow or sick and gross? This is a sick and grow. You must have had, hey man, retype that. I didn't know that, Mac Feezy. QT serves brisket tacos. Do they pull out a whole brisket and cut it up in front of you, or do they just come up with magical brisket tacos from somewhere? Because that's gonna send you to the brisket bathroom. I didn't know that, but that's interesting. Okay, thank you for telling me that. Sluggo, I might be slow, but I'm not following that one. This is a sick Negro. Okay, you talking about me? What did I do? What did I do to deserve that sound bite? You talking about this one?
That's a Negro that's out of his mind.
This is the one I have.
That's a Negro that's out of his mind.
What did I say? JBJ said Sid Jack turkey necks. Turkey tails are underrated. I like turkey tails. I'll put in about 2 or 3. Two good turkey tails, 3 will be too many. I know ABM was very upset and he said he hates when he gets greens and there's so much turkey in it. He has to fight to find the greens. I understand that. You do want greens, and if there's so much turkey that you really can't get the greens without the turkey, that's too much. I will say that. Sidney Jackson said, okay, I use turkey and chicken broth too. Oh, okay, cool. And that's who asked you that question, Mom. Sidney said, along with the garlic. JBJ said, this ninja is a spokesman for Buc-ee's. Mr. Cool. JBJ said, this ninja is the spokesman for Buc-ee's. Mr. Cooper is good white folk, boy. Hey, look, from what I understand, somebody told me Buc-ee's was black owned. Is it not? That's what I was told. That's what I was told. But I mean, it is what it is. The store is efficient, sir. It's efficient.
You liar! You lying bitch. This motherfucker's lying. You lying motherfucker, stop.
I just wanted to hear that.
You liar! You lying bitch. This motherfucker's lying. You lying motherfucker, stop.
Sidney Jackson said, JBJ, I've used turkey necks too. Yeah, turkey necks, turkey tails, turkey wings, obviously. JBJ said, Feezy, you a damn fool. JBJ said, Feezy, you're a damn fool.
You're a goddamn genius. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160. You are goddamn gifted. You're a goddamn genius. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160. You are goddamn gifted.
Sidney Jackson said, Ninja, your kicker earned himself a blanket party for shanking a 27-yard field goal. I guess Ryan Day knew the kicker had pelvic flip syndrome. That's why he went for it on 4th and goal. The pelvic flinch killed us at the end of that football contest, sir. I mean, in the locker room, he should have been heard screaming.
Help! Help! Help me!
Hey, kicker.
You're robbing us, you son of a bitch. You're robbing us, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, the pelvic flinch is a motherfucker, Sidney Jackson. We have the greatest from South Central on the train. Thank you for coming aboard the greatest from South Central. I hope you are enjoying the ride thus far. What up, the greatest? What's going on, sir? Thank you for coming aboard. Hope you are enjoying the ride thus far, sir. Sluggo said, when you're when you're that close, 27 yards to be exact, just kick it straight unless you're unless you're compensating for wind. Hey, listen, let me read that again and tell you something behind that. When you're that close, 27 yards away, just kick it straight unless you're compensating for the wind. Sluggo?
That boy is good.
Preach, sir. Preach. My best friend was kicking 45-yard field goals in high school, nigga. Kicking it straight ahead. No sideways shit. He put on a kicking boot and kicked it straight ahead. 45-yard field goal, nigga. He kicked the 45-yarder to win the game or give us the lead. He kicked the 45 fucking yarder. You know how far that is? This joke was in high school, and he kicked the 45-yarder, and there was room to spare on that bitch. There was room to spare on that motherfucker. So there's something to be said about kicking straight ahead. But yeah, just kick it straight ahead and put it in. He tried to do his normal little, kick that swerves and all that shit, and he choked that bitch up and chucked it. Punched that shit dead to the left. Punched it hard. And there weren't a lot of people over there trying to lift him up.
Man, you sorry. Man, you sorry.
Struggling.
27 yards?
Hell no.
27.
Hell no.
27.
Struggling.
Man, you sorry. Hell no.
27 damn yards is crazy. The greatest laughing at lemon booty. That is I got that from Bomani Jones. That's not mine. But that is easily the second worst. The only reason it's not the worst is because the other kicker did it. Now the other kicker, you know what? I take that back. Well, wait a minute. No, the other kicker was worse because he chucked his to the left as well. They both choked. They both choked. They both choked because it wasn't. It would be different if it was. The only reason his kick wasn't worse is because it was so close. But the other dude's kick was so bad that we didn't even get the benefit of that anticipation. It was so bad that as soon as it left his foot, that shit was heading towards Georgia's sideline. So there was no, it's up, it's up, it's up. You know, there was none of that. It was like he lines up, there's the kick, and that's not even close. I mean, instantly, as soon as that touched his foot, all hopes were dashed. And homie just chucked it because he had that natural kick that kind of, you know, if you play golf, you might have a nice little left to right. He had a left to right on his kick. He had a left to right, but because it was that moment, he got nervous. And shit, hell, he's damn near close as a PAT, so I don't know what his problem was, but at any rate, the greatest says, oh, I need to turn the game on. The greatest says, I need the Chargers to win tonight. Okay, McPheasy said it's actual brisket. Okay, cool. I did not know that. I didn't know that. Okay. I didn't know that. Good to know. Dexter says, can the Eagles get this game against the Chargers tonight? I certainly hope so, Dexter. And that's when the greatest says he needs the Chargers to win. Oh, you're a Dallas fan. You're trying to, of course. Sluggo said, your Starbucks take is why I said that, sir. Oh, I'm a sick Negro because of my Starbucks take? Okay, sir, do what you do. Do what you do. Sidney Jackson said, let me see what my Eagles going to do tonight. No Jalen Carter. It's been an adventure every game with this team. That's true. Y'all, Sidney Jackson, I finally heard one announcer say it. Your OC is absolutely horrible. He said, man, I don't know if they need to fire the OC or, you know, I'm glad somebody said it, but the OC is terrible. And it's like people aren't saying anything. The fans can see it. That's why they egged this house. Now, of course, that's taking it too far, but at least the fans recognize what the problem is. That OC is terrible, and they're giving him a complete and total pass, but you microanalyzing Eric Bieniemy, Super Bowl champion, multiple Super Bowl champion. Do you think? I mean, that motherfucker sucks. Sidney Jackson said, never seen someone kicking a... Sidney Jackson said, never seen someone kick a lateral before. The kick against Georgia went horizontal. It did. He kicked it like directly to the left. And I know what happened is it's the same thing that happens when you get your body in the way of a golf swing. You don't leave enough room for you to swing, therefore you compensate, and the only thing you do is come around and just pull the ball. He stuck his foot out so far trying to plant it and dig into the kick that he didn't give his body any room to come around, and he overplanted. And when he did that shit, he didn't leave any room, and that's why he sliced the ball directly to the left. And that's what homie did. I mean, that was a serious, but Bomani Jones said that, and I died laughing, but that's his. He mentioned somebody having the worst onset case of lemon booty in the history of sports. So for me, those two kicks are the two worst onset cases of lemon booty I've ever seen from an Ohio State kicker. Easily, hands down, not even close. Sad but true. Let's get into it, man. Hope y'all enjoyed your turkey day. Thank you for the information and the takes, the information on what y'all are going to do for Christmas. I'm thinking Christmas-wise, menu-wise, especially considering, man, it's probably, unless my sisters come by, it's just gonna be me. So unless baby girl come through, but generally they're doing something on Christmas, so it's probably just gonna be me. So I'm not gonna make too much, and it depends what's on that day. Do we got football? Am I zoning out on a movie? I don't know. I'll figure something out. But honestly, beer battered cod sounds good to me because that was gonna be my Christmas present to myself. I was gonna go get a case of cod. and just eat that shit on occasion. But I found a place that sells it by the case. I was going to get a case of cod. I'm thinking beer batter cod and something. I'm not going to do fries. That's too much gluttony. So I'm thinking beer batter cod and something that, beer batter cod and something else. I don't want to go salad, greens. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'm thinking something like that. Or some type of soup or gumbo. A good beef stew, perhaps? Ooh, it's probably going to be cold. A nice beef stew? Or chicken stew with the thick broth? Perhaps I'll do taco soup so y'all can tell jokes. I don't know. I could do something simple like that. I may do that. That would be good and simple. Nice and easy, not a heavy meal. I may do that. That sounds good. I digress. But Ohio was cool. Turkey Day was cool. Let's get into this football. And again, shout out to legal states. The multitude of cannabis stores. Ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. A multitude of cannabis stores. A multitude of cannabis stores. Ridiculously so. I was like, damn. All right, man, let's get into this. College football. Championship Saturday. I just spoke about Ohio State. I won't talk about that anymore. I spoke about what happened in that game, why we lost. But again, if Julian Sam was that guy, he would have made that throw. The running back was right there. You could have ran. If you wanted to give it to your buddy, the tight end, as soon as you came out of that damn roll, as soon as you came out of that damn fake, and you damn pivoted, as soon as you made that pivot, sir, you should have been looking for the tight end, and the instant you saw his shoulder pad, you should have fired that ball in. But that second and a half you waited, that was no longer there. I don't know why he didn't get that shit at 27. When I went back and just looked at because I was kind of melancholy at the time. When I went back and looked at the replay, I said, what the hell were you looking at, dude? At any rate, opening game of the day. The Big 12 championship, correct? Texas Tech taking on BYU. And Texas Tech basically removed the condom and gave BYU a very un-Mormon-like treatment. With no lubrication, no reach around, they basically gave them the Republican and or the Trump. They gave them the Trump treatment, the Weinstein treatment, the Epstein treatment. They gave them the Sandusky treatment, and they, again, didn't offer comfort, a shoulder rub, reach around, prophylactics, or lubricant. Texas Tech took BYU to the woodshed and sent them on their Mormon mission earlier than expected. Good game by Texas Tech. That was what we label in the business as an ass whooping. BYU.
Man, you sorry.
They bent y'all over twice.
Man, you sorry.
Twice.
Man, you sorry.
Coaching staff. Trainers. The people that wash the uniforms.
You rotten bums! You're all garbage! All of you!
One more for you. BYU. For such a terrible showing that allowed, I guess, Miami a slot that left you out. You had an opportunity to win that game and put yourself in. Texas Tech was in. You simply would have put yourself in this tournament, and you failed. You, unfortunate.
What's the letter? What's the letter? What's the letter of the day? The letter of the day is L.
BYU's quarterback, Backmeyer or some shit like that. 16 for 27, 115 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles lost.
Oh, you almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that. Man, you sorry. Man, you sorry. Man, you sorry.
What was that?
Let me repeat that. 16 for 27, 115 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles lost.
What was that? What was that?
What's the letter? What's the letter? What's the letter of the day? The letter of the day is L.
No wonder y'all lost. Morton, the quarterback for Texas Tech, 20 for 33, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. That helps. Over 100 yards from 2 different running backs. Combined 2 different running backs, well over 150 yards. Solid attack for Texas Tech. Started slow, but once they picked up their rhythm and their offense started rolling, it was Christmas. And at that point, the defense picked up and started putting pressure on the BYU quarterback, hence him having 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles, 4 turnovers overall just on him alone. And this is why BYU is taking their Mormon mission earlier than expected. They were
struggling.
They should have prayed just a little bit harder. I digress. BYU's out of there, but Texas Tech, great game. You showed up and did what you were supposed to do. You got yourself a top seed. You have a bye. You are in the tournament, and you are favored and being spoken about highly by a lot of individuals. I'm on a wait-and-see approach because you're in the Big 12, but you allegedly have good pass rushers. You have a productive offense and system, allegedly. I haven't watched you this year. I can't give an intelligent opinion about what you're capable of based on one football game against the Mormons. But I am looking forward to you playing and seeing you in the spotlight and getting your opportunity. And that's the great thing about this system. As many complaints as I have, I remember when there was an even more inadequate and insufficient system. And with all of its flaws, with all of its blemishes, with all of its warts, with all of its craters, this is still hands over heels better than previous systems used in the past with all of its flaws. Nice win for Texas Tech. Great job by their quarterback, their running game, their offense, their defense. Overall, great team win. Themselves, their coaching staff, and everybody showed up to play. Texas Tech.
That boy is good.
Coaching staff.
That boy is good.
QB, solid game.
That boy is good.
Running backs, way to share the load.
That boy is good.
Defense, way to cause multiple turnovers from the Mormons.
That boy is good.
Them grown men, they making nervous. Damn near, they probably averaged 24 at BYU, and that was way before the portal.
That boy is good.
Great job by Texas Tech. Great win. Enjoy your bye. You earned it. BYU, by the end of that game, grabbing their ankles, screaming.
Help! Help! Help me!
I remember hearing at one point in the season, hands down and obviously, BYU one of the top teams in the country. I'm very impressed with them, and obviously they'll be one of the teams going to the playoff. I'd imagine they're going to win the entire Big 12.
You liar! You lying bitch. This motherfucker's lying. You lying motherfucker, stop.
This is like getting like a heroin fix. Didn't realize how much I missed this shit. But I've just been a tad bit busy. Other times I was lazy and made the choice. But once again, I was jonesing.
That shit, man, it's got me, man. I don't got no control over it, man. I try to kick, man. That shit just be calling me, man. Be calling me, man. I just gotta go to it. Need help, man.
I'll speak about the games that I saw. Already spoken on Ohio State. Won't do that again. Georgia and Alabama. In this particular SEC championship, which is essentially a home game for Georgia, no excuses saying what it is, Alabama took an ass whooping.
Man, you sorry.
Now, I'm just speaking about this game, and I'm keeping it in context for this particular game, for this particular football contest, from a coaching aspect.
Man, you sorry.
Defense, I didn't think played terrible, but you can't keep sending them back out there. You can't continue to send them back out there. You just can't. Offensively, the quarterback simply had a bad game. And without the ability to make those throws and with him getting pressure and appearing to look like a deer in headlights, with happy feet and wide open eyes in that particular football contest, it led to a subpar performance. But let me say this, and we'll just talk about this game. In this game, Georgia simply played better. They dominated. They won the game. It's that simple. Georgia played better in this game. But I'm almost certain I saw Alabama beat Georgia earlier in the year. I understand one happened a little more recent, but it's hard for me to penalize a team that they lost, yes, but they beat the same fucking team earlier in the year. So they have a loss against Georgia, a team they beat in the regular season, and they made it to the championship game. I don't think that's something they should get punished for. Now, in this particular game, they took an ass whooping. But regardless of the ass whooping, Alabama's done enough to get into the playoffs. I'll go ahead and bring that up right now. They lost to Florida State at the beginning of the year, first game of the year. And Florida State in that game did not play poorly. They probably played their best game of the year. Ty Simpson missed a lot of throws. And they got a little bit of pressure on him, if I remember correctly. But he also had a lot of time, the majority of the time, to throw the football. They lost to Florida State. And after that, they didn't lose again, playing tough game after tough game in the SEC until they lost to Oklahoma. They lost one game in the SEC, and then they lost in the SEC championship to a team that's getting a bye in the fucking tournament. As much as I hate Georgia, they lost to Georgia, a team they beat once. So maybe you can harp on the Florida State thing or the Oklahoma game and how they looked. And in the Oklahoma game, they had to turn the ball over 3 to 4 times for Oklahoma to barely win. So again, I don't know what the conversation was, but any question about Alabama being in the tournament, I think is wasted breath. I think they're one of the better teams in the country, and they did enough for me to be in. It's not even a question. Early loss to Florida State, running through the SEC, losing in the end of the year to Oklahoma, and losing in the SEC championship. I'm not tripping on that. So good year by Alabama, and I'll have something to say about the tournament positions and where we lie. But just speaking about the championship games right now. Now, when I speak about Duke and Virginia, I'm speaking about this from a place of somebody that didn't really watch it. I was locked in on our game, obviously. I was locked in on the Ohio State game. So Duke and Virginia, I was not locked in. I was catching it every now and again. Duke pulls out the win in overtime. The times that I've watched Duke this year, they look decent, look pretty good. Obviously, they've had a multitude of losses this year outside of the conference. What's their overall record? 8-5. Did Duke end up being 8-5? So Duke was 8-5, 5 losses. They weren't ranked, and they weren't going to get a position in the tournament. If Virginia won, they would have gotten in. They would have ended up being 11-2, I think. Virginia would have made it in. But again, Virginia choked that shit away. That was their opportunity. They had an opportunity. Virginia had an opportunity. They choked it away. Duke played a solid game. And I think if Virginia had a difference maker at quarterback, it might have been just enough to put them over the top. But Duke played good enough ball, and or Virginia didn't play good enough ball to make that happen. Duke wins the ACC championship, and they get nothing for that. Maybe outside of a bowl bid, I'm assuming. I'm assuming somebody let them play in a bowl, but they're not going to be in the playoff. And I would say, I guess deservedly so, but there's something to be said about they did win their conference. And again, if you're going to say they can't be in with that amount of losses, okay, I get it. And they're not ranked and you put these rules in place, okay, that's fine. That's fine. But when you look at a couple of the teams that got in and their schedules, and honestly, when you're talking about Duke, that shit might be comparable. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's unfortunate that the ACC champion is not going to get in. But I can see both sides of it. But congratulations to Duke. Hey, Virginia. Come on, man.
Man, you sorry.
Y'all choked that away. Y'all choked that away. Chance to go to the 12-team playoff. And you choked it away.
Oh, sorry. That's not right.
Hell no.
Oh, sorry. That's not right.
Hell no.
Unfortunate. Nice for Duke. Not going to make it. I can see both sides of it. 5-loss team, I can see both sides of it. Like the way they did. I mean, we lost the Big Ten championship and we still got to bye because they're going off of records and whatnot. And honestly, I guess that makes more sense because I had a lot of complaints about Boise getting a bye. And just in the realm of common sense, you can't do that. You just can't. So, I mean, is what it is. So, Virginia fumbles that game after a great season. After a promising year, they fumble that game away. Duke wins. Congratulations to Duke. Once again, Duke. Great job. Great job by Duke.
That boy is good.
Great win. Overall team win. Great job.
That boy is good.
Virginia.
Man, you sorry. What's the letter? What's the letter? What's the letter of the day? The letter of the day is L.
Interesting. In that SEC championship, just a side note. I mean, to me, Simpson's the better quarterback. We're talking about delivering the football. But there was absolutely no rushing attack for Alabama. I knew it was bad, but I didn't mention that. Not even one running back didn't even muster 20 yards. But then again, 4 carries, 3 carries, 1 carry. They didn't run the ball enough to get any damn yards. Not one running back had 6 carries. And overall, if you leave the quarterback out of it, the running backs combined did not have 10 carries. You're not going to have a lot of yards. I don't know how much they got stopped and how much they just didn't dedicate themselves to trying to run the ball. They didn't even have 10 yards combined with the running backs. Simpson had 6 carries. That's more than any running back had. Simpson had more individual carries than any running back for Alabama. So that's something they would definitely want to address. That was ugly in that game, that their rushing game, they didn't dedicate themselves to it. And they chose to kind of put Simpson in danger and didn't take enough pressure off of him by trying to utilize the running game. I can't say that they got stopped. I can say they didn't put enough effort in trying to run the ball. They definitely didn't do that. Even if you had to throw the running back the ball. But they didn't put enough effort in trying to run the ball and maybe take a little pressure off of Simpson. And again, they beat him the first time, so maybe they thought they didn't have to, but they might want to improve upon that. That was really bad. I was looking to see, was it more Georgia? But, I mean, they did a decent job on defense, but with those numbers, Alabama didn't try to run the ball. And I think that might have been a bigger issue in that situation. And I'm one that understands that offense, but, when something's not working or when something's not working, you got to go a different way. Loosen them up a little bit, get that run going, work some play action. Let your quarterback get a little confidence, get that pass rush off his ass. There are a lot of things you can do in that situation to try to alleviate and/or give him some type of olive branch, some type of handout, some type of here's a little help. Here's something for you. That's something they could have done in that situation. Sidney Jackson said, enough with the anthem BS. Let's get to the kickoff. Sluggo said, on your recommendation, I'm eating some perch for the first time, sir. I'll try cod next, but it doesn't look like your traditional fish. Perch is good, man. I mean, like that little skin on the backside, I usually just, take that off once I get done cooking it. And I usually cook it skin side first and cook that side real good before I hit the other side. It's just like everything else. I mean, recommended time generally is around 5 minutes a side. For ninjas, it's going to be a little more than that because you generally want it, a little crispier than that or whatever. So, but perch is some good fish. And cod's still probably my favorite at this point. Now that I've gotten some perch that I'm actually enjoy it, I'm probably at this point, I'll say cod. It depends now. If you're talking about sea bass and all this other shit that you may get, but something I'm not going to get all the time. Because they actually have redfish in that market that I went to. They got redfish in there. And I'm tempted to get some of that. So some black and red fish, or whatever I'm going to make with it. If I go black and red fish, I'm probably going to hook up some pasta with it. But I digress. Oh, you're talking about fish. But yeah, perch is good. Let me know what you think about that perch, man. Let me know what you think about that perch. I'm actually going to make, while Mom's here, we're going to have some perch, actually. I'm going to go get some. So we're going to eat some perch while she's here. But yeah, I'm a fan of perch, man. Now, that little skin on the backside, I think most people eat it. I peel that on off. But perch is good eating. And I think you'll like cod. And if you're going to make it yourself, go ahead and beer batter it. That's what you want to do with that. Sidney Jackson said, perhaps put in an extra tight end or fullback and perhaps a counter. I've never seen such a vanilla run game like Phillies this year. Next time, I hope it's bricks that will be thrown at his house. Hey, man, sir, he's a OC for Philly.
Man, you sorry.
He's simply not a good coordinator. He's a first-year coordinator for a quarterback and team that's been to the Super Bowl twice. A quarterback that's won one Super Bowl and been to two and played great in both. And you have some OC coming in, dumbing down the offense instead of coming in saying, Mr. Hurts, what do you want to do? That's absolutely crazy to me. I'll never understand that. Sidney Jackson said, I missed the entire SEC championship game. I had to take baby girl to a birthday party. Ooh. And you had a birthday party and they had the audacity not to have the game on. Boy, hey, listen. The birthday party for my godmama was from like 4 to 7. It was just a terrible time. And mentally, I wasn't there. And I just ended up, just being stuck on the TV. I really kind of meant to get up and make an appearance, but man, that was bad timing on Championship Saturday. And hell, most of the games were decent. Most of the games were pretty good. But I feel you, Sidney, an extra tight end, something. But and look, the other thing you can do, throw the damn ball so the defense can back the fuck up a little bit. It's too predictable. It's bland, and you're treating Jalen Hurts with such disrespect. Really, the entire team. Everybody in skilled positions because they've all put in work. Hurts, Brown, and Devontae Smith deserve better. They shouldn't be treated like that. And that's the part that I don't think is getting – there's not enough criticism of that. They have no business being treated like that. That shit's crazy. Sidney Johnson said, maybe I'm tripping, but it seems the 4-letter had more and longer commercial breaks than other networks broadcasting the NFL. Man, I'm going to have to be cognizant to actually pay attention to that. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to pay attention to that. I'm not sure. Sluggo said it's pretty good, but seemingly there are bones in every bite. Now, the perch I get, I had no bones, sir. One piece of perch, there was one loose bone. I pulled out and threw it away. And I've never had bones in my perch. So it's wherever you're getting it from. I guess they don't fillet it that well. Now, I never get bones in my perch. So it's the brand. It's the brand. Because the Sam's used to have a good brand of cod. And they got rid of it. And now they just have their store brand. And their store brand of cod has bones in it. And that bag of cod made me not like cod. I dislike fucking with bones that much. So I won't fuck with their cod anymore. So I'll get it from, where do I go to get cod now? Kroger actually has the best deal on it, and I haven't had any problems out of their cod. No bones. And speaking of that case I'm going to get, I'd really be disappointed if it had bones in it. But I wouldn't think. But yeah, Sam's has the Sam's market brand, store brand, bones in that as well. But I've never had perch with bones in it. The last batch I had one piece that had one bone sticking out of it, and I pulled it out. Only bone I've ever seen in my perch. So I would say that the particular brand you have is probably why you have bones. If you get a different brand, you're probably not going to have bones. I've never had bones in perch before, but yeah, perch is pretty good. Sluggo said, definitely got to get it filleted going forward. Oh, definitely. I can't do fish that's not filleted. I can't. It's not. I don't have that in me. I cannot do it. I cannot do it. And this is the Underground Railroad Show, hosted by your boy that Ninja. Thank you for coming aboard and rolling with me. Excuse me as I Chargers got a lead, huh? Turn on the game for a hot second. Okay, let's go ahead and get into this playoff. So let's do a quick run through of the playoff as I'm glancing at the game. And a quick pause. Let's see. Let's go here. What's the first one I want to discuss? Ooh, and that's wrong. Let's go here. All right. All right. On that first day. Oh, doing too much. My bad. Let's get back on that. And this is the Underground Railroad Show, hosted by your boy, that Ninja. Texas Tech, Georgia, Indiana, and The Ohio State University earning first round byes. The games we have to look forward to. And let me just prefix this by saying that I do think it's a good thing that we have 5 SEC teams in it. I think that's going to make for better football. I didn't really care for seeing the SEC teams play each other in the very beginning. Didn't really care for that. Don't really care for that, but it is what it is, I guess. So we have Alabama taking on Oklahoma in the first round. 7 o'clock game. On Friday, the 19th of December. They have the whole floor to themselves. On Saturday, December 20th. Hold on one second. My apologies for that. Turn that damn heat down. That shit kicking. All right. Alabama taking on Oklahoma. Friday the 19th. On the 20th, we have Miami taking on Texas A&M at 11 o'clock. Ole Miss taking on Tulane. Tulane, who made it in. 2:30. And James Madison playing Oregon at 6:30. Interesting that Miami and Texas A&M are playing at 11 o'clock, considering the rest of the matchups. That is interesting, to say the least. All right, let's get into these games. Now, I could talk about whether Tulane should be in, James Madison. I'm just going to deal with the games on their face and, what's going on right now with the games. I'm pretty sure I'm looking for the tower that I think I have in here. There it is. As a matter of fact, cut that damn heat off. Shit. My apologies. Let's go James Madison and Oregon first. James Madison and Oregon. It's the evening game that day for some weird-ass reason, but James Madison and Oregon. Oregon, much like Ohio State, much like Indiana, a pillow soft schedule. And I would say Oregon's schedule is just as weak as ours, just as weak as Indiana's. Their defense could be better considering that their head coach specializes in defense. Their defense could definitely be better. I expect Oregon to pull this game out with talent, definitely pulling away in the second half. I think James Madison has a chance to move the ball offensively a little bit early in the game. But I think talent will prevail and Oregon will win in the second half and, run away with talent and whatnot. But I don't see a dominating defense from Oregon, even though their coach is considered to be a defensive guy. I don't consider them to be a team with a dominating defense. I really don't. So I think early on, James Madison may have some offensive success early on, but I do think that Oregon's going to pull away in the end and prevail against James Madison. I mean, big take. That's incredible that I feel that way. Nobody's going to think that, but I think Oregon will prevail over James Madison. But I actually look for James Madison and the way they run their offense to actually move the ball a little bit early in the game in the first quarter, first half, especially in the first quarter. And if there's not an adjustment, maybe the game's interesting for a lot longer than more people think. But I believe Oregon will pull away and prevail in that game when it's all said and done. Ole Miss taking on Tulane. I'm getting both of these out the way, and a lot of people looked at this like they're essentially getting buys, and to a degree, I think they are. Neither one of those teams should lose to those squads. I don't think Ole Miss is going to drop a game to Tulane. Ole Miss's defense could be better, but again, with the time off, time to scout, coach leaving, I believe the team believes in themselves because they're a damn good squad. It's going to be interesting. I mean, because I think they just promoted the D coordinator. Who knows? And now if he comes in and scales back the offense and doesn't allow them to play and plays close to the vest, and if he does that and just kills their year, it could go bad. But if they continue to play offense aggressively like they have and pick it up on defense just a little, it's going to be interesting. I think Ole Miss is going to handle Tulane. I don't think they're going to squander this opportunity. I think they're going to prevail and handle Tulane. I won't bother with scores, but in those two games, I think they're going to go as expected. I just think that James Madison maybe early on can do a little bit offensively before he gets shut down. And I'm just saying that because I haven't been overly impressed with Oregon's defense, considering they have a defensive coach. Miami taking on Texas A&M. Miami did work their way in. I think this is a bad draw for Miami. I think that one loss from Reed at the end of the year in the SEC, even when he was undefeated, no real respect for the Heisman. And regardless of what you think about Texas A&M's schedule, you can't call it weaker than ours or Indiana's. And you were considering both of those quarterbacks. I think Reed has been disrespected to the utmost if we're talking about what that team has accomplished on the field. Undefeated in the SEC, and they still really weren't. It's like they mentioned him because they had to. And I don't think the committee could have been happier when he lost and they just threw him completely out of the race. But to me, that's still crazy. You lose one game at the end of the year, you're done. I think Texas A&M is a solid team, very good defense. And they're going up against a Miami team that I think has more talent than it did last year with Cameron Ward, but they don't have Cameron Ward at quarterback, and he's not walking through that locker room door. Texas A&M's defense is going to be in Beck's ass, pause. And I think that pressure is going to cause him to look like Carson Beck. I think Texas A&M is going to beat Miami. I don't think Miami's a better team than them. I think Texas A&M is actually going to handle Miami, and it's going to be a difference of talent, the dog fights that they've been in, and probably the disrespect they feel at this point, being that they've lost one game that knocked them out of the SEC championship and has essentially made them the forgotten guy, the forgotten team, an afterthought, if you will. Alabama taking on Oklahoma. Oklahoma played a very good game against Alabama, but keep in mind it took 3 turnovers from Alabama for Oklahoma to barely win that game. 3 turnovers, maybe 4. And this is what I'll say about every game, and I hadn't mentioned that up to this point, including this game, but especially this one. This is one thing I will say about bowl games. When you have this much time to get ready, this is a true evaluation and a true situation where you're fully within your right to criticize the coach and the coaching staff, because if that team shows up not prepared, without a decent game plan, without being physically and mentally prepared, that is a reflection of the coach and the coaching staff. You have ample time to get ready, ample time for scouting. There's nothing more important than right now, this team, this game, this moment, this situation. If your team is not ready, that is a direct reflection of your coach and or your coaching staff. So if Alabama shows up without the proper game plan, without the ability to adjust, without being once again, Oklahoma didn't do much on offense. The defense just needs to do the same thing. The offense just needs to not turn over the ball, and they'll win. The same way people said it's hard to beat the same team twice when it came to Alabama and Georgia. Does that apply in this situation with Oklahoma? I know it took turnovers for them to win last time. I expect Alabama to make improvements and to come out playing good ball. And I think Alabama, without turning the ball over, beats Oklahoma because I like their offensive scheme better. Oklahoma's quarterback hasn't shown me anything. When I was talking to ABM earlier, we were talking about the fact, and he was mentioning the fact that he hasn't done anything for quite a while now when they were trying to put him in the Heisman race. And ever since then, he hasn't done much on the field. And he didn't do much against Alabama the first time. So I think an Alabama team that doesn't turn the ball over comes back and wins in this situation. I think Alabama's going to beat Oklahoma in this game. This unfortunate matchup of SEC teams early, but they did make it in. And again, I think it makes for better matchups. I at least can look at these games, and even with the Tulane situation and the James Madison situation, I can still find interest in that. I remember previous years being not interested in a lot of the outside games. Last year as well. Just the way it was set up didn't make sense. So I think this is a little more interesting, and I'm going to enjoy watching. But I think Alabama will beat Oklahoma. I think Texas A&M is going to beat Miami. I think Ole Miss is going to beat Tulane, and Oregon is going to beat James Madison, which sets up an interesting scenario. This is the Underground Railroad Show, hosted by your boy, That Ninja. Looking at this, I have a few thoughts. No, a few of these I can just remember off the top of my head. So the winner of James Madison and Oregon is going to face Texas Tech. Now, this is interesting because, and again, I'll say again, I haven't watched enough Texas Tech football to give a definitive opinion or an intelligent one. I can say in the one game that they played against the Mormons that I saw, that I actually saw, I thought they looked good. They played good ball. I like the scheme and some of the aggressiveness in the passing game. I saw receivers that went and got the football. And I saw defense to put pressure on an offense, the majority of whom probably have wives and children. Yes, it's cucumber and lemon water. So in the matter of James Madison versus Oregon, I think James Madison has a chance to just do a little bit offensively. Oregon will prevail in the second half, in my opinion, which sets up the matchup against Texas Tech. And I'm usually not somebody that jumps ahead, but I think this is interesting. I think in every single situation, and this wasn't necessarily the case in previous years, but in every single situation, last year, but in every situation this year, I believe that the team that I think is going to advance has an opportunity to knock off the team that had to bye in every situation. In this situation, I think Oregon is fully capable of beating Texas Tech. But I think it's going to be a good game and a good matchup. But I think Oregon's capable of beating Texas Tech. Very much so. I'd say the competition I can't really say that. It should be a good game. I think you have offensive strengths. You have an alleged tough defense from Texas Tech. Oregon is supposed to be a better defensive team with their head coach, Dan Lanning. Both teams can put up points and have a pretty aggressive offense. It should be a nice game to watch. But Oregon is fully capable of beating a team that has this bye. Oregon taking on Texas Tech, I think is going to be a good matchup. I don't necessarily want to make a prediction, but I actually think Oregon is fully capable of beating Texas Tech. And if I had to pick that game today, I'm taking Oregon over Texas Tech. I think offensively they can put up just as many points. And defensively, it's just going to be a matter of who can put pressure on who's quarterback. In the case of Oregon, depending on where the pressure comes from, He has the ability to extend the play and or get away. Texas Tech's quarterback, I'm trying to remember, was he a good runner? I think he's okay. I don't think he's a statue, but I don't think running is part of his game. I could be wrong. I might be wrong about that. I haven't really watched him like that, but I don't know how much of a runner he is. So it's a matter of really who's going to get pressure on the quarterback and get him off of that square. But I think Dante Moore is a little bit better getting off his square than my man at Texas Tech. But again, I'm saying this not based on – I haven't watched him, so I'm just talking. I'm basing this on one game. I haven't watched Texas Tech all year. So I'd have to do some research on them, and even then, I'd be looking at highlights. But I think Oregon's going to face Texas Tech, and give me Oregon over Texas Tech. I think just a little more battle-tested, even though I think they had a weak schedule in the Big Ten as well, but give me Oregon. I personally believe that the winner of Alabama-Oklahoma, regardless of who it is a terrible matchup for Indiana. They have a bye. They earned it. They beat us. I think there's something to be said for the level of competition. I think there's something to be said for being battle-tested. And I don't think Indiana, they can win. Don't get me wrong. It's not like they're a terrible team. But they're going to have a battle and a hard time against Alabama or Oklahoma. I don't think Indiana is capable of blowing either one of those teams out. Capable of beating them, yes. Blowing them out and dominating as if they're this top-tier, undefeated, number one, hands-down, best team in the country. I don't think there's a fucking chance of that. I don't think there's a chance of that. I think it's going to be a really good game, and I think it's the last matchup. I think those two teams are one of the last matchups that team wants to see. And I think whether it's Alabama or Oklahoma on a neutral site, I think they're going to beat Indiana. And that's not because they suck, but I don't think that they're ready for the type of team that either one of those teams are. And the way that they're going to play, being that they've been battle tested week to week on a much more regular basis than Indiana has this year. I like Alabama or Oklahoma to give Indiana hell and to righteously beat them. I'm not saying they're going to blow them out. But I will say this. Indiana can win the game. I'm not saying they're a terrible team. But I don't think they could blow out Alabama or Oklahoma. I don't think they could do that at all. And I think this is a terrible draw for them if you could really have their innermost thoughts. That's a shitty draw for them. And I think either one of those teams are going to beat Indiana. My early prediction. Ole Miss, I believe, is going to beat Tulane, and they have to once again play Georgia, who, again, can't stand them, but they're a damn good team, and they always improve and get better towards the end of the year. Solid defense, running the ball, timely throws and whatnot. But Ole Miss is a solid team. They're without their coach, but even in that game against Georgia, Ole Miss scored damn near on every possession. Just ended up losing at the end of the game. Even watching that, I still really can't pinpoint this happened or this went wrong. That's why they lost. A drive here or there, a play here or there. Maybe I felt, okay, there could have been some interference here or some holding there. But overall, just a nice back and forth. It's going to be a good game. I hate these two teams are playing each other again somewhat this early. But again, Ole Miss is fully capable of beating Georgia. That's what I really like about all of these games. I think in every second-round matchup that I think is going to happen, either team could win. And in some of these cases, now the Ole Miss-Georgia game, that could go either way. I hate Georgia, but I can't just say they're going to lose. That'd be a lie. But I think Ole Miss is more than capable of beating them. I definitely like their quarterback more. It's just a matter of them making a few more plays on defense, getting some stops in, and continuing to move the ball on offense. If they can protect their quarterback and just not get them in a dire situation, because they can buy time, they can move, they can extend the play, they can run. If they're just not getting a zero blitz with absolutely no time to make a decision, those quarterbacks should be able to move around and do something. I mean, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a damn good game. And I'd love to see Ole Miss beat Georgia, which, again, they're capable of doing. It's just going to be a tough game. That's a tough-ass matchup in the second round. So that's truly going to be a tough game for both teams. I'd love to see Ole Miss pull it out, but I can't call it on that one. Give me Ole Miss, because I like their quarterback more. But Georgia's defense is definitely better. Ole Miss hasn't played that type of defense all year, not the type of defense that Georgia's capable of. Now, with that being said, Ole Miss took the ball up and down the field on them like it wasn't shit. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be a good game. I'm pulling for Ole Miss, but I can't just say they're going to win. That wouldn't be smart. And now we have what I believe is going to be Texas A&M taking on Ohio State. Once again, in my opinion, this is a terrible fucking draw for us. Texas A&M is a terrible draw. One fucking loss in the SEC. And we're going to have to take on them, I believe, in our first game. That's a shitty draw. Texas A&M does not suck at all. That's a good defense. And one thing that saying has a problem against is a good defense and a team that's capable of putting pressure on the quarterback. Texas A&M can do that. I definitely like the quarterback. I like Reed more than our quarterback because I think he's much more capable of impacting the game, and he can do things when the play isn't on time. Our quarterback hasn't shown the ability to do that on a consistent basis. This is a very dangerous game for Ohio State. The one thing that I am confident about is we have a very good defense. So this is going to be a battle. This game can go either way, but this is going to be a hell of a battle for us. And truth be told, I like their quarterback more than ours. The one thing I keep resting on is our defense is really good. But I think Texas A&M has a pretty good defense as well. So, again, this is a terrible draw. We're capable of winning, but there has to be an adjustment made for Julian saying not if the play isn't on time, if the first read isn't there, they have to find another way to go about it, run the ball more, shorter throws, getting the ball out of his hand quickly. We have to figure things out if that becomes a problem against Texas A&M. I hate this matchup for us. I hate it. And I believe it's going to be on a neutral site, if I remember correctly. I hate this matchup. I really hate it. I'm pulling for Ohio State, but I hate the matchup. If I had to place money on it, I'm not sure where I'd go with this one. I hate this matchup. But keep in mind, I hated the Tennessee matchup last year. And Tennessee came up there and bent over before the first snap. I don't see Texas A&M doing that because I haven't seen their coach do what Josh Heupel has done over and over again. And I think Texas A&M feels like they have something to prove. They're being just written off, dismissed, quarterback getting no consideration, team not really being talked about like they're viable. I think they're going to want to come out and remind people about what they did this season and who they are. So we have to come out ready to play. And it probably was good that the coaching staff saw what they saw against Indiana. Because I think Texas A&M is capable of doing way more damage than Indiana did. And we just lost to them. So I'm worried about that game. There has to be an adjustment. We can't play like we did against Indiana. We'll fuck around and get our ass kicked. We can't do that shit. So that's going to be I hate that matchup for us. I hate it. Not a good matchup for us at all. But I do think it's an interesting playoff, though. I like the playoff picture. I like what I see. And I think overall it's going to be good football to watch. So I think in that aspect, as fans, we're going to get to see some good games, some good matchups. And early on, what appears to be an improvement on the way they went about it last year. So hopefully each year it gets a little better and they'll find ways to truly do what they can to get the best 12 teams in the playoff. But I like these matchups and I think I'm going to enjoy watching them. But I do think that in the second round, every team that got a bye can fuck around and go home if they don't come out ready to play. Every team that got a bye can fuck around and go home in the second round. So I think it's going to be good matchups, though, man. I like those matchups. I don't like that Texas A&M matchup for us. I don't like that shit at all. Don't like it at all. JBJ says, Sidney Jackson and your coach Sirianni said he would get more involved in the offense when his ass has a background in special teams. This is what I'm trying to understand about Sirianni. Why did you hire a first time offensive coordinator for a Super Bowl winning team and quarterback? That doesn't make any sense.
Hell no!
You rotten bubs! You're all garbage! All of you!
Nothing about that makes sense. Nothing about that makes sense. So after the second game, I've been complaining about the refs, about the OC. After the second game, it was pretty obvious how terrible he was. I'm like, why would you hire this cat? He dumbed down the offense. He's super conservative. Everybody can see what's coming. That's why it's so easy to defend the Eagles. Everybody can see what you're about to do. There's no creativity. Everything's obvious. It's just, and he's getting a complete and total slide. They've made some slight adjustments, but as an OC, he's done an absolutely horrible job. And he's getting a pass. Getting a complete and total pass. I don't get it. But if there's ever a quarterback that should get, an OC that should get fired like mid-season, that one. Man, he's terrible. I don't get it, sir. I don't get it. Sid Jack, your coach Sirianni said he would get more involved in the offense when his ass has a background in special teams.
Hang in there, Whites. Hang in there, Whites.
Sidney Jackson, 38, hot at a wide receiver screen on 3rd and 9. That OC. Sidney Jackson said, JBJ, Sirianni is a moron who got propped up by good OCs. Why his goofy ass wait till week 14 to want to tweak the offense? You never lied, sir, because the offensive has needed tweaking for multiple weeks. Multiple. Sluggo said, Ole Miss already boat raced Tulane earlier this year. Maybe without Kiffin, the game will be closer. We'll see. I doubt it. I think they're going to come out with something to prove. We'll see, though, because the OC was calling the plays anyway, right? So, we'll see. Sluggo said James Madison only beat GSU by 7 points. A 1-11 GSU. Let that sink in. Oh yeah, they're gonna get killed. They're gonna get beat. I just, in my mind, I'm thinking they can score a couple points because I've seen Oregon struggle with teams they shouldn't struggle with. But we'll see. But in all likelihood, those two games and those two teams, sacrificial lambs. But the other two games and what we're going to get into after that, I think it's going to be, fun to watch, and or interesting. Fun to watch and or interesting. So it should be nice, man. Should be nice. We'll see. Looking forward to seeing it. Give me a quick pause. My apologies. Sidney Jackson said, white privilege is Lane Kiffin, leaving a playoff team, but we'll still get a bonus money if Ole Miss wins. That's crazy. White privilege is Lane Kiffin leaving a playoff team, but will still get bonus money if Ole Miss wins. I don't know. What do you say to that? Hell of an agent? Dumbass school? That shit's crazy. He'll still get a bonus if they win, and he left the team high and dry. Sluggo saying, wow, Sydney. Sydney Jackson says, Sluggo, LSU will pay Lane a bonus for every game Ole Miss wins in the playoffs. Damn. What do I think about that?
The brilliance is the best brilliance is brilliance born not from someone ignorant. The brilliance is the best brilliance is brilliance born not from someone ignorant.
Okay. Do your thing. Sluggo said, damn, Sydney, that's even worse. I thought Ole Miss was paying it. Shaking my damn head. Yeah, that's crazy. Sydney Jackson says, Sluggo, yep, I couldn't believe that shit. I couldn't believe that BS. Especially from LSU, who was screaming Sisters of the Poor last week because they didn't want to pay Brian Kelly's payout. Sluggo saying exactly, Sydney. Sydney said Barkley ran for consecutive first downs on the left side of the line. So naturally, the goofy OC stopped calling runs to that side. I hope someone drives a stolen armored truck through his house. I don't think Sydney is a fan of the OC.
Man, you sorry. Man, you sorry.
Hey, OC for Philly.
You're robbing us, you son of a bitch.
Snuggle said, are they receding after each round? Oh, are they reseeding after each round, or will it be the same as last year? I know they made some changes to the format. Otherwise, Indiana might be in trouble. I mean, I think they kind of in trouble now. They're going to get Alabama or Oklahoma. I don't think that's a good matchup for them. Sluggo laughing at Sydney. Sluggo said, does OSU still have the slow white linebackers who are still chasing Devontae Smith? You motherfucker. It seems like we keep one, but what it is we've gone with better linebackers, and now we've gone average at quarterback with Julian Sand. So it seems like it has to be one or the other, sir. Sluggo said, if I recall correctly, every team who had a bye last year got beat. Damn, I had to stop and think about that. You might be right. JBJ said, Sid Jack, LSU bent over backwards for that narcissistic cracker. I believe everyone is genuinely rooting against Lane the way he left those kids high and dry. Again, if we don't win it, I'd like to see Ole Miss win it all just so Lane Kiffin can look stupid. And so those kids can have that shit. Listen, and this too, side note. Did y'all see that brilliant commercial that they had for the Ole Miss quarterback? Was it Trinidad or something like that? I forget his last name, but they had a commercial where he was sitting around on the couch talking about transferring or getting in the portal or whatever. They said, I've made my decision, I'm transferring to AT&T. And they started celebrating. AT&T came out and everything. And dude looked at him and said, AT&T? He said, yeah, what did you think I was talking about? Man, I fell out laughing. Yeah, because, the assumption that you're going to want to go with Lane Kiffin and everything. Man, I was laughing so damn hard. And I said, that's a brilliant commercial to make in real time. That was brilliant. That's good marketing right there. That was smart. If that's on people's mind, they're playing on the fact, why not play on, all the people that complain about the portal or the things that are happening. Lane Kiffin left. They played on that shit. That was funny. I said, okay, that's a nice commercial. Some of these commercials are kind of fun. And the players are getting in instead of the coaches, which is really one of the main reasons some of the coaches are mad at it, because all of those commercials used to be for them. JBJ says, speaking of all Florida fans, I hope those... That's funny, sir. JBJ, who is a Florida fan, by the way, JBJ said, speaking for all Florida fans.
I hope those white bitches get tear gassed. 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 I hope those white bitches get tear gassed.
JBJ said, I had to speak in code because the bots blocked my shit. Yeah, I hate the fact that the chat seems to be somewhat censored, man. I'll try to find a way to rectify that in the future. JBJ, I read that one. JBJ said, they say the Colts are working out Phillip Rivers. Hey, somebody answer this for me. Why did they not, do they hate that nigga that much? Is he hurt and I didn't know about it? Why didn't they put AR-15 back in the game after dude blew out his Achilles? And now they're about to bring in an old ass cracker because they'd rather play him? Or is he hurt and I don't know about it? What the hell is going on with that? Somebody please tell me. Maybe he was hurt and I didn't know it because I haven't been keeping up and watching news or some shit. Because when I saw he wasn't in the game and they put in some random white dude just gave the game away, I'm like, is my man hurt? Or are they really just doing this for real? I've never liked that franchise. I told you I was shocked when they drafted him in the first place and they couldn't wait for a reason. Yeah, that's some bullshit right there, sir. That's some bullshit right there. That's some bullshit. But it's some bullshit, but from that franchise, not surprised. JBJ said, preach Sydney, LSU on that bullshit. JBJ said, yeah, Trinidad making up on his NIL bread. Hey man, that was a funny commercial. The commercial was funny. Good commercial. And he got some NIL bread.
That boy is good. That boy is good.
Sidney Jackson voicing his displeasure. Fuck! JBJ said Trinidad is being underpaid because if you remember, he was signed as a backup. Yeah, he was. He was, and all the announcers wanted to talk about was he came from JUCO, and they said, this isn't JUCO, and he's not going to be able to do this. And 10 plays later, they had to kiss his ass. Sidney Jackson said, Jalen turned the ball over twice in one play. Got to be a record. Sidney said AR-15's on injured reserve. Is he actually hurt? Or they just put him on injured reserve? So that blind shot he took when they didn't block for him in the preseason and the motherfucker jumped into the middle of his back, he's been hurt since then? Because shit, he hasn't played. So when the fuck did he get hurt? That shit's crazy. I didn't know that. Okay. Didn't know that. This is the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy that Ninja. But I like the playoff setting. I mean, we got, the James Madisons and the Tulanes. Okay. But I think the teams, that are there are going to beat them. And the second round matchups, I think, are going to be pretty good. Alabama, Oklahoma should be a good game. And Texas A&M, Miami. I mean, nice matchup, but I don't think Miami can beat Texas A&M without Texas A&M having a bad game or something. I could be wrong, but I don't see it. I don't think they could beat them. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay, let me ask y'all this as I gave my college football synopsis. I'm disgusted with the NFL right now. I don't even want to talk about this shit. Not even gonna front. I don't want to talk about this shit. Disgusted with it. I need to go refresh. Let me ask y'all this. And I'm not sure if I can pull it off because this system is different. I'm going to have to clear out room to make it happen. And I'm not sure how well it's going to go, but I'm willing to attempt it. Are y'all interested in continuing the Christmas Wish show? For those that are still around, let me know if you're interested in continuing the Christmas Wish show. If so, I'll make provisions and see if I can pull it off. I think I can use the old format to do the skits on and then just, download it and then put it on this format. I'm not sure how well this format is going to work for, trying to do the skits. I can try it out, but I'm not sure. So give me a thumbs up, thumbs down on the Christmas Wish show. While y'all are mulling that over, let me double check. Seven-3 is an ugly game. I'm assuming that OC is Sirianni's buddy because nothing about him being there doesn't make sense from a football aspect at all. No, cover what I wanted to. Now, what was the side thing? If Philadelphia doesn't do something about that, they're gonna have to continue to fight and battle teams they shouldn't have to fight and battle because of the putrid, uncreative offense. Something has to be done. We'll see. We'll see. Sydney said if the system will allow it. Sluggo said, I haven't thought about any ideas, but I'm with a Christmas wish list. I'm with a Christmas wish show. Okay. All right, so let's throw it out there. What is it? It is December 8th. It's December 8th. Let's check the calendar. It is December 8th. Christmas is obviously on December 25th. That is essentially 2 weeks from now. It's that damn close. 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. I would have to do the Christmas wish show like that Monday, the 22nd. Okay, so I would need these pretty quickly. I don't got a lot of work left. What is my last day? Is it that Friday? The 19th? That's the 19th, I believe, is the last day I'm going to work. After the 19th, I'm done working until like the 2nd or the 3rd. Yeah, after that, I'm done working until, what is the Friday? The 2nd? That's New Year's Day. I don't go back on the 1st. The Friday, maybe. The way it falls this year here, I might not go back to the 5th, which would be ideal. Matter of fact, yeah, that's what it's going to be. So I don't even think I'm going back to work to the 5th. Okay, so if I do it, it's going to have to be the 22nd. All right, so if I do that, it's going to have to be the 22nd. Righteously, I need those by the end of the week. If we wait till next Monday, which is the 15th, that's still doable. If by the 15th, if after a week you think about it and you give it to me on the 15th, that gives me 1 week to get them done. I can pull that off if I get it by the 15th. And the end of the week is damn near the same. I'm saying the end of the week, so that's Sunday. Same thing. So let's just say by next Monday, if you have a Christmas wish, let me get it by the 15th. And from there, I can do a Christmas wish a day, and I should be ready by the 22nd. So the 22nd, I'll give you the Christmas show, and I'm going to have to figure that out because of this format. I can't do what I normally do, which is play those traditional Christmas songs. I can't do that. Now, when it comes to some of these skits, I think most of the stuff I can use, but they're going to be like I don't know if I can play an instrumental. If it's just certain things, I'm going to be restricted as far as things that have been published or whatever, so or copywritten. So yeah, that's the only. I hate that I cannot play those Christmas songs. I hate that. Maybe I can get away with like a short medley, like 30 seconds and keep it pushing or something like that. Maybe I'll do that. Which won't be the same. Maybe I'll run a 30-second, a quick cut of all of them or some shit. At any rate, we'll figure that out. All right, so I'll attempt to pull that off in 2 weeks. So 2 weeks we'll have the Christmas wish show. That will be the 22nd. Try to have your Christmas wishes to me by the 15th. Okay, for those that don't know what I'm talking about, the Christmas wish show is what I do is I grant Christmas wishes. So what that consists of is me basically doing, okay, if somebody said, I want you to cover this subject or do this, most of the time it's some type of skit, whether it be a Ninja Theater or I'm trying to give examples of what's been done. I was asked to do Trump's inauguration. Trump's inauguration with I think Uncle Ruckus being the master of ceremonies. Things like that. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank right now. Who was it? Who did y'all have me? Which one of y'all had me do? One of y'all had me do recite "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," and I'm pretty sure you had me do Arnold Schwarzenegger doing the "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." I'm almost certain. It was either Ruckus doing "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" or I think Arnold Schwarzenegger. No, it wasn't. It was fucking nigga Rivera. That's who it was. These are little show characters for people that don't. This might sound weird, but that's who it was. It was fucking nigga Rivera doing "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." That's what it was. So it's things like that. That's what the Christmas wish is. That was funny. That's who it was. It was Rivera doing "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." Even when I heard the concept, it took me a while just to stop laughing on the concept. But that's what I mean by Christmas wishes. So on the previous format, it was a lot easier to do things like that. I'm going to attempt it. I'll see if I can pull it off. It's just going to be a matter of making space, and I think I can do it. We'll see. I don't know how well it will work using this headset. I had to figure it out. I haven't really tried to do I've essentially went through this entire year and I haven't made a skit. I don't think that's ever happened. I went through this entire year and I don't know if I've picked up one new soundbite. I've only picked up maybe 4 or 5 new sound bites, maybe 6, which is crazy in an entire year. I don't think I've attempted to do any new skits or anything like that the entire year. I don't believe I have. Okay, so 22nd and let's say no later than next week, try to get those Christmas wishes to me. Let me see where you're at here. JBJ said, I will be listening for entertainment purposes only. Sydney said, I got to sit down and think of something. Sydney said, that was me. I asked you to do The Night Before Christmas as Ron Rivera. There was a couple of those I did live. But yeah, that was funny. Stereotypically. Okay. All right. So that's a go. We'll figure that out. Trying to make sure there was some kind of side thing I wanted to bring up. And man, I can't remember what it was. That's fine. Now, what I will do is for the remainder of the year, which isn't much, I will be diligent. I will at least give you the one show a week I'm supposed to. And I should mix in an extra one here and there just to make up for some things. So that's my plan. Again, the NFL I'm disgusted with. So I'm going to have to find some type of off-kilter subject matter. And I got to figure out my end of the year show. And I've missed a lot of shows this year for a multitude of reasons. Beginning of the year, I was moving. And then, life got in the way. This has been hands down my most inconsistent year of podcasting. It's not even close. And I apologize for that. I'll do my best to do better, or I will do better. It's just been lifing and being busy, prioritizing, just all of those things. Sydney, great pool with the Ron Rivera doing "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." Great pool. Y'all have stretched my creative muscles in that Christmas Wish show. This would only be the, I want to say 3rd year. And if I'm shorting it, it's the 4th year. But I think this makes the 3rd year. Because I want to say that y'all this is the 3rd year. I think this is the 3rd year. Now, and as a matter of fact, I should actually have I'm actually curious now. And this is the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy, that Ninja. About to pull this train into the station, but I'm actually curious. What do I have in here? This is very specific. I see one Christmas wish in here. No, there are a few in here. I actually have some of these Christmas wishes in here. And honestly, I can't remember what some of them are. Okay, I have quite a few of them in here actually. I'll one of these days I'll play one for an example. I would think about doing it on the way out, but I don't know which one is which. I don't know from what year these are. I cannot remember. You know what? I won't do it. I won't do it. I have no idea what that is. Okay, I have a few of them. I'll explore that and figure that out. But okay, we'll do that next week. I'm stalling because there was something else I wanted to bring up, and for the life of me, I can't remember what it was. I cannot remember. I can't remember. I'll let that go. All right. Hey, appreciate y'all, man. Thank you for the back and forth. I'm about to get ready to check out the rest of this football contest with the terrible play calling. Oh, wait a minute. I just remembered something. Something I never remember to do. I'm laughing because I just saw Sydney snapping. That's funny. I'm just checking something, man. You know what I never remember to do? I never remember to look at and check Facebook. Now, when I don't check it, I don't have to worry about it. When I forget to check it, when I do check it, everything's good. When I forget to check it, there are always some comments I never get to. I'm trying to be cognizant of that, but I always forget about that format. Hey, look, appreciate y'all. I won't be lazy this time. I'll do my outro. It's still early. Still keeping it around throw. Appreciate it, JBJ. Appreciate it. Trying to figure out Christmas this year. I don't know. Yeah, I might break Pop set out and do. Well, if I do a turkey, I gotta have something. That's a lot of eating. I think I'm gonna do something simple. I might say that for New Year's. Christmas. I need to see who's gonna be playing. What can I make? Be something non-traditional. You know what? I know what I'll do. We probably both won't have shit to do around the time of year. I'll check. I know who I'll check with. Hey, appreciate that, JBJ. Appreciate that. Let's go with this traditional outro that I've been lazy with. And I don't feel like going to get the bottle to replenish. So I'll just do without today. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy, that Ninja. Truly appreciate you coming aboard and rolling with me. Appreciate that. As a matter of fact, man, I'm going to go ahead and look, I don't know which one this is. I'm going to play one of these Christmas wishes on the way out. Believe everybody's still watching the game anyway. I'm going to play one of these Christmas wishes on the way out. I don't know what's what. Let me see who's in here. Let's see. That's Matt Feezy's. I'm going to mess around and play something I'm ashamed of, but I go Sluggo's Christmas Wish. I don't know from what year these are. I have no idea. Only thing I'm trying to remember is what I use. Because if I played certain music and whatnot, then I can't use it. I tell you what. I tell you what we'll do. I'm gonna leave on a derail from our passenger that has the young child is very busy, and I don't know if anybody knows Clay Davis's information, but that's the one person that hasn't really made it over here to this other format. I think maybe he showed up for one good show. I'll give you a classic Clay Davis moment. Only because of preview it. I'm not sure what's on the Christmas wish. I'm not sure what's on it. But ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy, that Ninja. Thank you for coming aboard and rolling with me. I consider the back and forth to be therapeutic, which makes all of you my de facto therapists. So as always, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for the session. Mom's taught me how to cook when I was younger, and she's here chilling tonight. What up? She taught me how to cook when I was younger. Still love to cook to this day. And they're going to enjoy having the opportunity to cook for her this weekend. Thank you for that skill set, Moms. She also taught me to get the number from the female so I can be in charge of the situation. That game has served me well up to this point. Thank you for that game, Mom. Love you. R.I.P. DT. I would have to go and get the bottle. I'm not going to bother. Matter of fact, I'm going to switch it up this year. I'm going to chug a hit of water. R.I.P. DT. Pops taught me to think of all I speak, but speak not all I think. Simply put, that means that sometimes you either need to shut the fuck up or at least think about what it is you're about to say and who you're about to say it to. Pops also taught me how to be a man. I appreciate that as I witness those that don't conduct themselves in that manner, and I'm glad I'm not one of those individuals. R.I.P. DT. Love you, Pop. Wish I would have told you that more when you was here, sir. R.I.P. DT. As always, I'll take a shot for Pop. This is a shot of water, though. R.I.P. DT. It's okay to think it's not illegal yet. If somebody teaches you something, take the time to look into it for yourself. If somebody teaches you something, if somebody tells you something and you don't research it, you're being taught. The learning process begins when you look into it. Anything that anybody tells you, look into it for yourself. That initiates the learning process. Simply put, never take anybody's word on face value. Research everything you're taught, you're told, and that you hear. If not, then you'll take something at face value, run with it without ever researching it, and you'll do something that I find to be one of the most detrimental things that we do as a society, and one of the most detrimental things that holds Black people back, which is misinformation. So don't get taught, always learn. Simply check behind everything that you're told. Pops also taught me that a man who trims himself to suit everybody will soon whittle himself away. Simply put, if you change who you are, pretend to be something that you're not to fit into a certain group and or grouping and or environment, you'll soon lose yourself. And that's no way to live. Don't change who you are to fit in. If you have to do that, then you're probably around people you need to get away from anyway. And to quote the last line of Mass Appeal by the late, great guru, I'll be kicking the reel while they'll be losing the race, trying to chase Mass Appeal. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank you for the back and forth. I apologize for the lack of frequency. I apologize for that. As always, in closing, I didn't read the cows tonight, and I have neglected them severely. My apologies for that. With that being said, we are at war. Please act accordingly. No matter what you see on the news, no matter what they tell you, no matter how much misinformation they put out there, as a Black person in America, you are at war. Act accordingly. Please get at least one long gun and one short gun. Please get at least 1,000 rounds of ammunition for each. Take the time to go to the range to get efficient with your weapon. Learn how to carry it, clean it safely, legally, and efficiently. Teach everybody you love and care about to do the same. Do your best to develop a mentality that will allow you to not hesitate to defend yourself, your property, and those who you care about. A good way to help develop that mentality is to study where you came from, how you got here, and how you've been treated since you've been here. If you do that, I promise you, pulling the trigger will be a hell of a lot easier. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank you for the back and forth. I'm going to enjoy this game, chill out for the evening. We'll see y'all next time. And as always, take care and be easy. As a matter of fact, we're going to go out on a classic clip from Clay Davis, who's somewhere raising a youngin', a.k.a. COVID baby. Appreciate y'all, man. Be easy.
Clay Davis says, I don't know if I can trust ninjas from the Midwest. They like to call they soda pop. What the fuck? Hey, listen, let me tell y'all why this is funny to me. I go up to Ohio for the summer, right? And I come back with northern slang, and I would get killed around here for it. One year I came back when I was young, and after a summer, just as a kid, a summer felt like a lifetime. And I come back saying pop. You know, down here it's drink, a soda. We go to the store get a drink. Hey, man, let's go get a drink. Man, let's go get a drink. You know, we go get a drink. You know what I'm saying? You know, saying, I would like a soda. You know, we go get a drink. Up north is pop. Bama said, I got a story about pop when I was in Ohio. Angry Batman said, Hollywood went up north and discovered he could... You motherfucker! Man, when I went up there, I was in a place affectionately known as Nigga Town. Angry Batman said, Hollywood went up north and discovered he could have white women anytime and any way he wanted. He returned to the South to learn that shit didn't play in those parts. Anytime, quote, anytime and any way he wanted. 334 Bama says, I remember when I first got to Ohio. I've always heard of White Castle being from the South, so I decided to see what it was about. I worked at Crystal in high school, so I wanted to see the so-called up north version. I did the same thing. I pulled up to the drive-thru and ordered my combo. Then the female asked me, what's your... Then the female asked me, what's your pop? I said, what did you say? She said again, what's your pop? I said again, what did you say? She said it again with a little attitude. What's your pop? I screamed in the little speaker, I don't know what the hell you're saying. What is a damn pop? She replies, what do you want to drink? I said, you should have said that then. Then I drove home. Me mugging her ass when I passed the drive. Oh shit, that's fucking hysterical. See how a simple miscommunication and a gap in language and the way that motherfuckers express words can get you to that point. Jamie Jenny said Ninja used to call his soda pop. I don't know if I can trust you anymore. You've been ass. Oh shit. I damn JV. Are you stupid? Oh shit. My fucking head hurt. Jamie Jenny says Ninja used to call his soda pop. I don't know if I can trust you anymore. You've been had. You've been nasty. You've been ugly.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
Oh shit, my head.